ELLE.com/news for 20% off. Aquel.com/news.
From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products and online shops, it's all under one new roof at Max's Print Shop in Marcy. Order anytime and any quantity in person or online at maxsprintshop.com. Since 1978, we pride ourselves on personally meeting every customer's need. We can take your project from design to production. And remember, Max's Print Shop will stitch anything. And we mean anything in the Utica-Rome area. Find us at 9555 River Road in Marcy or online at maxsprintshop.com.
It's time to start the program. It's time to earn our pay. It's time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Chilly start to a Tuesday morning, February 7th. And so much to do here on a Tuesday morning. Good morning. We're going to talk about Boeheim coming up in a second. He has stepped in it this time. Are you following any of this this backlash? It all started with that interview with the student, where he basically gave him a tongue lashing. Maybe it was a student before that he walked out on, and when he had asked a question, so both of those, but then did an interview with ESPN. When asked about retirement, he said, I do what I want. I'll retire when I want to retire, which is probably true. But the way he said it was certainly in a way to anger the reporter that he was being interviewed by, right? Yeah. Like, screw you, I can do whatever I want to do.
Right.
He kind of said it in that way. And with that, now has come a huge backlash from media outlets all over the place. It started with Brent Axe's column that he did, where he was very critical of Boeheim.
Well, I think he's spot on with his critique of how he handled the student. And I don't think it was that off the wall of a question. That's just my opinion. I'm a little confused on the heat that he's taking over saying I'll retire when I want to retire. The guy's been there for, 45 years? Hasn't he earned the right to kind of say this will be my last year or it won't?
I completely agree. I don't understand why this is. I mean, Boeheim's always been snarky. I don't understand why. Wait till you read the headline I'm going to give you coming up here. Okay. I don't understand why this has become such a, Syracuse is completely out of control, being held hostage by this coach.
But that's not the case. Does anybody think that?
Yeah. Listen, wait till you to hear the headline. What do you want, Davey? You're shaking your head, wailing your arms.
Yeah, but most of the backlash is not from that retirement. It's from the comments that he made about Wake Forest and Pittsburgh buying their players.
I don't know that is the most. He has apologized for that, but I don't know that necessarily is. I guess you combine all of them together, but Sports Illustrated has a story that just dropped yesterday. Okay. The dangers of when college hoops coaches become emperors, and there's a picture of Jim Boeheim.
Well, look, there's something to be said for that. Are we going to sit here and not think that, what's his name at Alabama, the football coach?
Nick Saban.
He's not an emperor? The most successful program in the country?
Yeah, yeah. And is this all going on because Boeheim's not winning right now?
That's a good
Well,
question.
they're 14. They're 14-10 overall.
They are, and they're coming off a good win in Boston, and they've got a big game. They need to win some of these other games. But I wonder, with all of this controversy surrounding Boeheim, how the team will react.
I continue to be confused by this. Boeheim's comments, and I think he did owe Wake Forest and the other program an apology, to be honest with you, for him to make that accusation. But I was led to believe it was okay. Doesn't Weitzman come out and say, I just pay the players because I want them to go to Syracuse? They're not doing commercials for him. They're not hawking a product.
Right.
They're not making appearances. He's just paying them because he wants them to be to go to Syracuse.
According to this Sports Illustrated story of all the ridiculous things Jim Boeheim said Saturday in an interview with ESPN's Pete Thamel, this was both the worst and most accurate. I know it's my choice. I can do whatever I want, talking about retirement. They're all bothered by that. I don't know why you're so bothered by that. I don't understand why this has become such a horrible occurrence.
I don't get it either.
I mean, I got to say, Syracuse is not getting much play nationally. This is not the play they necessarily want. But it's almost like these are all former Syracuse students who are now working in sports media. The media is
loaded, yeah.
filled and loaded with SU alum. It's almost like they've become fed up with Boeheim, and they're all attacking him. It's really interesting to see.
I just can't believe with he had several wins taken away for violations. There's been situations with players who did he have a tutor or was somebody doing the homework for him just so he could appear in the basketball games, and it goes on and on. And the demise of his career. The time when they said it's finally enough was when he said, I've been here for 45 years. I think I'll determine when I'm leaving.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing.
Well, and I do think the comments about the NIL were problematic, right? He later came out and apologized to the two coaches or two teams that he targeted. What was it? Wake Forest and
Pitt.
Yeah.
So think about that too. How bad he must have known that he stepped in it for Boeheim to come out and apologize.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often. Doesn't happen often.
But again, it's maybe Scott. What is he? Scott in Stittville, whatever he is. Scott, who
Schuylerville. No,
our sports.
Where's
expert.
he from again?
Scott in Kirkville.
Kirkville. Yeah.
Can someone explain to me?
I don't think he listens anymore, though. He just calls in because he can't. He doesn't have a smartphone, and he's outside the range of.
Can somebody explain to me what's the difference between saying Wake Forest buys its players versus Adam Weitzman coming out and saying, yeah, I've got $1 million to give players. I just want certain kids to go to Syracuse. I just don't understand the difference.
Should Boeheim ever actually retire, according to this story, the Emperor decreed last year that there is a plan in place for his successor. The likeliest candidate could be assistant coach Jerry McNamara, one of the heroes of the 2003 national title team. Or maybe assistant Adrian Autry, or the school could bring back Boeheim's originally named successor, Mike Hopkins, who gave up waiting 6 years ago and went to Washington. Again, the disrespect that they're showing this guy, I just find really surprising. What happened here? He didn't go home and beat his wife. He didn't, this isn't a moment where he threw a chair and hit a referee. This is, and I get it. He's snarky, grumpy. He's probably disrespectful, especially during the press conference. He's frustrated. They're losing, and he's probably taken any of the pressure off the team right now, and he's taken it all. So hopefully this team answers with a victory on Wednesday night.
Can I also say, too, typically we talk about Boeheim's smarminess, right, and how he can be very sarcastic, and he just has a bad attitude, especially at many press conferences. Most of the time, I'm not saying every time, most of the time, you and I would look at that and go, well, we laugh at it, but you kind of said he had a point, right? If he was defending a
Right,
player
right.
or it was a stupid question, you go, part of you would say, good for him for throwing it back at the reporter. But this one with the students where he asked where the player was who wasn't with the team, and he basically, well, that's your first question? I can't believe that's your first question.
And all he had to say was, it's a personal matter. I can't talk about it.
Done.
Yeah, it would have ended right there,
Done.
but he didn't want that. He didn't like the fact that that was the first question. But it is the question that's on everybody's mind. Here's one of your star players in a big game that you just lost, and he's not on the court. I think it's a fair question. And maybe it wouldn't have been, and a pretty good question for a college reporter to ask.
So, and I know you can't presume anything, right? Whoever wrote that article, you should be fair and not assume things. But I love the line that presumably one day when he retires or something to that effect, what is he going to coach forever?
Yeah.
Is he just going to coach for
And
150,000
they're
years?
referring to him not only in the headline, but in the story as the emperor. He did tweet out yesterday, as I've said many times previously, my employment as Syracuse men's basketball coach has always been determined by the university. I was asked about the possibility of retirement, and my answer was based on that. And my guess is that they've said, listen, you've earned it. You tell us when you want to retire, and that's when you'll retire.
Yeah, I just don't see there's no forcing him out. We're looking to change directions. I mean,
Yeah.
the court's named after him.
Yeah.
He's a legend. He's
Yeah.
a living legend. I mean, give me a break. The idea that it's like the Danny Jones situation. Should they keep him? Should they give him a contract extension? Is this the guy?
Yeah.
At 45 years in, it's too late to be asking that question. I'm sorry.
Switching gears, the Utica School District, that Bruce Karam is out on administrative leave. He is being paid during this time. There are apparently some complaints against him, and this has been out for about a week, and I'm grabbing this one from KTV. I really didn't get deep into it until last night into the complaint. And some of this has been made public. Of course, Karam has filed a lawsuit against the district and against individual members of the district. The other part is, after our interview with Bob Cardillo last week, when I asked, prior to this, it was a 4-3 vote putting Karam on administrative leave. When the vote came up last week, and the question was, should he remain on administrative leave, the vote was 7-0. And I believe it was 7-0. But certainly he voted for it. And my question to him was, has something happened that inspired you to say, yeah, let's keep him on administrative leave? Because prior to this, he's been voting no to that. And Cardillo's answer was what? I just felt he's been on it this long, so, and I'm not sure I quite understand that, but I guess that's his reasoning. It's his reasoning. But in the midst of all of this, some of the complaint has been released on what this investigation is about. And I'll throw out, have you read any of this at all?
Yes.
The hostile and toxic work environment that one employee, a female employee, has complained about. The employee claims she witnessed Karam making sexually explicit remarks to other administrators, using derogatory slurs about Asian staff members and homosexual employees, and referred to part of the administration building as the dog pound because, quote, everyone was so fat and ugly. Wow.
Oof.
Yeah. At the last board meeting, all members voted unanimously to keep Karam on leave. I thought that was quite interesting. Now, oral arguments will begin regarding the defendant's motion to dismiss, scheduled to begin on February 21st. He's asking for this to be dismissed. The problem is, this day and age, I'm not sure if these accusations are true, and there's more than one employee making the same type of complaint. This is pretty. This stuff can be damaging, especially when you work for a school district, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot. I mean, it's obvious you cannot talk to employees that way. Did you see the other complaint in there? The other allegation?
What is the other one? I see the toxic work environment.
It's about. It's in the same vein. It's toxic work environment, hostile work environment. It's I believe, a school official who is same sex. in a same-sex relationship, and he made inappropriate comments. I don't think I don't want to say something that I can't say on the air, but it was not like a curse word, but he was using euphemisms, I guess, about burgers, if you will, and
either way, I would think that this is not appropriate. If it happened, it is not appropriate in this day and age, and it is certainly not what you'd expect out of one of the most inclusive places you'll find on the planet, our public school districts.
I completely agree. It's not acceptable, and if this stuff is true, I don't think he can remain on as the superintendent. But I do have a question. I don't think. Again, I'm not excusing this. I'm just saying that's not what we were all led to believe this was about, right? Would you agree with that? It was
absolutely not. I would not agree with that. This is only exclusively about the employees who have filed complaints about a toxic work environment. It's exactly what it was about.
So the whole thing about
all the other stuff is, from what I'm told,
the election stuff where there was missing money or there was missing
has nothing to do with this lawsuit.
So I'm asking, where is that stuff?
I have no idea.
I mean,
just saying that has nothing. That he was not put on leave because of any of that. He was put on leave because of this investigation. So in terms of this, it's exclusively about that. Though we've heard a lot of stuff. The stamp gate, if you recall that, where stamps were being stockpiled to be able to help people win spots on the Board of Education, et cetera, all of that stuff. I don't know where that is. The only thing I have been told is, I'm sorry I can't talk about it because it's an ongoing investigation, and that's when we've talked to the DA. I can't talk about that. It's an investigation that's ongoing. So what does that mean? I guess will anything ever come of it? But it's almost kind of like the world of we know somebody's doing A, B, and C, but we got them on D over here. Is that what we're talking about here? Or is this just an individual complaint that they have followed through on, and he's on administrative leave because he's being investigated?
I just didn't. When I was told that there were some documents available and you could get a glimpse of what why he was put on leave and what it's all about.
But if you know why he was being put on, he was put on leave exclusively because of this investigation. Has nothing to do with stamps, has nothing to do with board members. It has nothing to do with any of that other investigation. I mean, if some of the things that have been said, and again, he is, even in this case, he is absolutely innocent until proven guilty. This is an accusation here, which is why he's being paid, right? But if some of the other things that have been rumored around the city, and a lot of people have heard these accusations, if any of that stuff has truth to it, it won't be a civil lawsuit. It would be an arrest. You wouldn't be getting it through a lawsuit.
Okay, I guess yeah, sure.
If that stuff becomes true, that would be I would think if some of the stuff that's being said is true, that you'd be dealing with an arrest. And again, he's innocent of all of these things until proven guilty. And, if there is an investigation, which we believe there is because we've been told we can't talk about something because of an investigation, then we wait and see. But maybe if they don't pull the trigger, there was nothing there or nothing that could be proven.
Yeah, I guess that's my surprise there.
All right. But again, this story has nothing to do with any of that. I mentioned Boeheim's tweet. He got out. I want to get to Ryan Schmelz coming up in a second. We have the latest on the president, who, if you think that Biden gives a rough speech when he's walking maybe from Air Force One towards the White House or towards the limo, towards the beast, good luck, because tonight's going to be your night. Tonight he's giving the State of the Union, which will go on and on and on, if you recall. And it's the State of the Union that we all know, right? The Democratic president speaks. The Democrats in the audience stand up and cheer. The Republicans sit on their hands. And you'll see a lot of that, my guest tonight. just as you would when President Trump was up there and Nancy Pelosi was giving him facial expressions in the back and then ultimately ripped up the speech when it was all said and done. We'll speak with Ryan Schmelz coming up in a second. Theatrics is what we're describing, political theatrics. It's 6:39 at WIBX.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares. The Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the NECA Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Syracuse University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Syracuse University's partnership with the IBEW will provide talented students the opportunity to advance their careers while shaping the future of the electrical trades and the industries they serve.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
We invest in Herkimer and Oneida counties. We work with the community to make things better for old and young alike. Today, tomorrow, and in the years to come. Every day, we put the community's long-term savings to work. Who are we? We are the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties. FoundationHOC.org. We're your community foundation, working to build a vibrant region with opportunity for all.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, turns out, can you imagine a woman calling the authorities, calling police, because she has looked into her washer and she's ready to pull out her clothes, but in her washer is a snake in her washing machine. I mean, these things do tend to happen in places like Florida and the warmer states, right?
Yeah.
You know you're having a bad day when you look in your washer. You see in your washing machine a snake. You call your husband, and authorities arrive to help remove the snake. Turns out it's her undergarment.
No.
Not a snake after all.
Get out of here.
Talk about embarrassing. So, you know, if that's how you're starting off your day, it's a problematic day. If you're doing anything better than that, I think you're doing pretty good to start your day. And you thought things were bad. Ryan Schmelz, Fox News, preview of the State of the Union tonight. I believe we're, Ryan, going to hear a lot of things about the economy and how well the economy is doing. And then you'll hear some murmurs in the audience because I'm not sure the American public feels the success of the economy that Biden is going to describe tonight.
Right. Well, first of all, I would like to say that I used to live in Texas, and I think we at least ran about 2 or 3 stories a year about somebody finding a rattlesnake in their toilet. So I certainly relate with that story right there. But,
in the toilet. That's very, very scary.
No, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
But, you know, when we talk about the economy, you know, certainly the president's going to try to sell his message to the American people on that. You know, he's going to bring up the bipartisan infrastructure law, likely bring up the CHIPS Act, too. And keep in mind, those are bills that were passed with bipartisan support. So he's likely to at least get some type of bipartisan applause when he talks about those issues. But, yeah, you know, when it comes to the polling data out there, you know, President Biden still has some low approval numbers. And when it comes to inflation and issues like that, that's where he kind of struggles the most on. Yeah. So, you know, certainly he'll have to sell the American people that the economy is strong, and certainly the recent jobs numbers do help back that point up. But, you know, when you're talking about inflation being at a 40-year high, you know, there's still going to be people who are a little frustrated with how things are right now.
Yeah. Yeah, when they're paying $8 for a dozen of extra large eggs, that can be frustrating. And obviously, you're coming off the Chinese balloon story. I'm not sure how he will handle that, but ultimately, their claim is that it was the military's decision to allow it to travel over land, and then they would take it down once it hit the ocean. Will he tout that as a positive outcome?
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how he addresses the balloon situation, if he's going to address it at all. But it's looking more and more likely that it is going to be something that is brought up. But, yeah, I mean, based off what he's explained so far is that this was a decision by his military generals to ultimately wait until it was above a safe location, which is over the ocean. They didn't want to risk hitting anybody below, and that's kind of the story that he stuck to, and says that he ordered it down as early as Wednesday. So it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of explains that to the American people. I know that, the reports out there that there were 3 during the Trump administration are certainly kind of hanging over this too, for lack of a better term. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see how in fact they decide to write this into the speech, because it is something that happened very recently. And so this is might be one of those last minute pieces they add in just ahead of this speech time.
Yeah. And by the way, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, who represents part of our area in Herkimer County, and of course the number 3 person in the party, Stefanik has announced that her guest will be Montgomery County Sheriff. The Montgomery County Sheriff will be her guest tonight. They bring a lot of guests. Any guests of notoriety that we can expect tonight?
Yeah, well, first of all, I actually just ran into Elise Stefanik. She's actually in our studio right now for an interview. So
that's funny.
Funny coincidence right there. But yeah, so in terms of guests, the guest list was released last night. So Bono is going to be there, sitting in the box for the First Lady. But then you also have Brandon Say, who is a notable one. He's the young man who's credited with stopping the Monterey Park shooter in California. So certainly he'll probably get if he's acknowledged, he'll get a bipartisan applause for his heroic efforts stopping a mass shooting from escalating to be even worse than it already was. So there's certainly a wide list there. You have people who have been victims of lead poisoning, as well as some others who might be impacted by the infrastructure law or some of the other legislative agenda items that the Biden administration has. You also, I believe, have the family of Tyree Nichols, who are invited on behalf of the Congressional Black Caucus too.
So I believe you're going to hear. There's certainly going to be a part of this where we're going to be talking about gun violence.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, gun violence you can expect to be something the Biden administration brings up, and don't be shocked if police reform is a big, heavy topic this time around as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Ryan. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, you too. Thank you.
Ryan Schmelz with Fox News. By the way, the Montgomery County Sheriff is Jeff Smith, who is from Fort Plain, and one of those that has been vocal when it comes to the bail reform that we're experiencing here in New York State.
And I would imagine we're going to have a lot of talk, as we always do from the president, about the MAGA wing of the Republican Party.
He might go down that road. Although, how does that benefit him now? I guess there are still a few of those trials from January 6th coming along there. But, police reform, gun reform, that sort of thing. I think you can expect it. Today is National Fettuccine Alfredo Day.
Now, that's a good day.
It's a good day. And it's fettuccine Alfredo isn't the worst, least healthy thing in the world. It's
top 5, though.
It may be. But when you realize how it's actually made, it's not as unhealthy as you would think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well,
I thought it was all it's all cream and sugar, right?
Well, it's unhealthy. Okay, it's unhealthy. You don't want to eat it every day. I don't know about any sugar, but fettuccine Alfredo is tossed with butter and Parmesan cheese.
It's all butter.
It's
that's
the
right.
butter that's probably what you'll be told might not all be the greatest for you. Serving fettuccine with butter and cheese was first mentioned in a 15th century recipe called Roman pasta. Martino da Como is a northern Italian cook In Rome, the recipe calls for cooking the pasta in broth or water, adding butter, and then good cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And you then have fettuccine Alfredo.
I could go for a bowl right now. It's funny. I always say, and Italians get mad at me, I never crave pasta. I'm never like, oh, I could really go for a bowl of spaghetti. I never had a ton of pasta growing up, so I never crave it. But I'll tell you what, I could go for a bowl of fettuccine Alfredo this morning for sure.
That'll fill you up pretty darn good, right?
Oh yeah, delicious.
A young boy got into got to do an adorable update, they're calling it, for News 12 New Jersey about a semi-truck crash full of frozen French fries. How would you handle that if you saw that out on the highway? Here is the kid filling in the community on what happened after the accident. Again, this happened in New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Patrick, live from Eastchester, and I have an update on the tractor-trailer accident on the Hutch. All the French fries were able to be brought where they're supposed to be, and my teacher, who was in the traffic, managed to get to school on time, and luckily, no one got hurt. Thanks for watching.
Okay, there's his little report, future reporter right there.
Well, if he's going to be a future reporter, he's got to do, he's got to be scaring and terrorizing the audience. Don't come out. There's fries everywhere. It's not safe. You can't drive.
Stay home. Don't frequent your local business. A dog named Ghost was rescued in Nevada after spending around 7 months living with coyotes. Luckily, the pack accepted the dog. And here's Susan McMullen of the Southern Nevada trapping team talking about rescuing the dog and putting him on the path to adoption.
It seems like he might have been put out there between 7 and 8 months. Somehow or another, the coyotes just accepted him. He was actually just running with them and eating with them, but then he started to limp. And we were afraid, limping, that the coyotes could turn on him.
When he got into that crate, he just sat down. I think he was also relieved.
It's just that adrenaline and excitement and relief. It was just a relief to get him out of there.
Okay. And an elementary, by the way, on the dog story, we told the story yesterday with the dog in Herkimer County that had been dropped off. They're still looking for the person who dropped off that dog. That person has not been caught as of yet. But don't you feel like someone knows? The dog is completely visible now. You saw the type of vehicle that dropped it off. Somebody had to say, yeah, that was, Joey Schmatz. He hated that dog.
Put two and two together, right?
Yeah, somebody knows something, and I'm surprised authorities haven't learned who it is as of yet. Davey?
They're offering a $1,000 reward.
Okay. All right.
Really?
Would you give it up if you knew, Davey, for that grand?
Sure, I would.
Yeah, you would. So here's the story that we had. When the story broke on TV on Thursday night, this would be a week ago, last Thursday night, what occurred is people began thinking, I got to go out and search for that dog. And there were dozens and dozens of people that left their home because you remember we had that impending cold weather coming. Dozens and dozens of people left their homes to go out and search for the dog. And one of them was an elderly man from the area who was probably not in the shape to go out.
Right. Just wanted to help.
Certainly do this, but he said he had to help. And I believe his wife was like, just, what are you doing? You can't do this. You're not in good enough shape to go out there. I've got to do it. I'm heading out there. That's kind of what happened. So the man went out and he ended up going down a ravine. Now, this is dark. It's Thursday night. The winds are starting to blow, and they're blowing in the cold air. Remember, by Friday, we went into sub-zero temperatures.
Yeah.
I got to find that dog before the sub-zero temperatures come in, before the wind blows in the cold. So he went down a ravine, and when he got down to the bottom, he saw no dog and realized there's nowhere else to go. There's the Mohawk River. So he turned around and began going back up the hill, but he had become exhausted and could not get up the hill. Trying, he figured maybe I need to rest just a bit and regain my strength, and then I'll make it up the hill. He decided to sit down on the ground. That's a mistake, right? Would you agree that's a mistake?
Yeah. If he needed to rest, but
yeah,
it seems
but
like
the fear is you don't want, and you think I would never fall asleep, but that's exactly what happened. He fell asleep on the ground. And he woke up to, and this is the old man telling the story. He woke up to two younger guys who awakened him and said, "Are you okay?" He said, "Yeah, I just had to sit down and rest. I'm trying to get up the hill." And they helped him up the hill and back to his car. So while the dog was not rescued, the old man was. That's kind of a great ending to a what could have been a very, very bad story.
Yeah, it would have been, tragedy on top of possible tragedy there. That's a great thing he wanted to help out, but sometimes you got to be.
I think we get to that certain point in our lives where we have to accept, you've done it your whole life. Like, I accepted I won't play in the NBA. I did accept that. It was tough, but I had to accept it. But when you get older, sometimes it's like, I can't do the things that I used to be able to do. And I don't think that's easy to accept. 20 years before, that man would have gone out there and been searching all night long for the dog.
Sure.
But he couldn't pull it off here. And luckily, he survived. Mike, on the Boeheim story, let's see. Can you make, I'll get to that, Wayne, in a second. Ross, listening, I'll get to that in a second, Ross. Michael, in the old days, Jim could be the old grumpy man, and people came because of the program. I asked this question earlier in talking about Jim Boeheim. Are we dealing with the fact that they're not winning? Is that why this is such a big deal?
Well, but let's be honest, though. That's been going on more than just this year.
It has, but so has Syracuse the last few years have been a little rough.
And they're in danger. And they're in danger of not making the big tournament for the second straight year.
Second straight year.
So one other thing too, and Bill, you mentioned this. He clarified his comments. Basically, maybe it's unacceptable now to say I'll do what I want. Maybe some of the other administrators at the school don't like to hear that. But now and you read this, but in his tweet he said, "I was reacting to a question I've always said, and I'll restate: the university determines my employment."
Yeah.
Is that what the real foul was? Him saying, I still don't get it.
I do understand you have to go and answer questions. You have to go into the post-game press conference. And you've lost another big game. You're frustrated. The team looked like it was turning around and growing, and all of a sudden it's gone into a bit of a lull and maybe not growing the way you'd like to see it grow, the way everybody wants to see it grow. And you just get frustrated, right? You get angry. It's like, here's another question, and maybe you just get so frustrated you lash out at somebody. Is that human? Apparently not by today's standards. It's not. The problem now is the transfer portal, where getting along with the coach is important. I think players will be very leery transferring to Syracuse with Jim's attitude. Plus, who knows who will decide to leave. I do think that watching tomorrow night's game and to see how this team reacts will be very important. Davey, I know you want to say something.
Nope.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
They just got to come out and win tomorrow. That's all.
I knew you wanted to say something after all. You did, didn't you? Yeah. An elementary school in Wisconsin attempted to break the world record for cereal box dominoes. You know the domino thing? But if you know the one key word in the lead sentence that I just read you, that word is attempted. An elementary school in Wisconsin attempted to break the world record for cereal box dominoes. Here is the attempt, plus teachers and students talking about the successful dominoes run using more than 7,000 cereal boxes. Wow. They'll find out if they officially broke the record in the coming weeks. They don't know yet, but here's how it sounded. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'd have walked out of the gym after that. Like, I can't stand all this noise. It ultimately was successful, but successful enough to break the record remains to be seen. A couple of other comments out there this morning. Ross, listening to the occasional miscellaneous political chat on your show, it makes me dread when the political scene is the main topic of news during election times. All the mumbo-jumbo takes away valuable time on your show for the good, fun things like going out and skating in your front or backyard. Thank you for that, Ross. Wayne says, can you make that Beep Beep song shareable on Facebook? That song is stuck in my head, and please play it on the air again. I'll do that coming up in a second, especially when we have Celeste Friend coming in studio next hour You know that the city of Utica budget is going to be released. It's today, right?
Yes.
And we're hearing some preliminary sounds. There's your sounds of boasting from Mayor Palmieri, talking about a $14 million surplus.
I don't.
How does
is that
happen?
possible?
Yeah. Or is it just playing with numbers?
I mean, if they have some of the money they got from COVID left over and they slid it in, okay, that makes sense. But when that's leftover money from a grant or a pot of money they got. When you say $14 million surplus from the budget, you make it think that either revenues were way up, tax revenues, there was some other income stream, or they didn't spend what they thought they were going to. I mean, obviously, they didn't spend a ton of money this winter, right, on salt and plows and stuff. What is it, snowed 4 times? We had to put the plows out there?
Yeah, I guess you've saved money there as well. We'll talk about that with Celeste Friend coming up. We'll do that song as well. Tom Bono, Mohawk Valley Hometown Heroes as well. Coming up next hour.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
The ground keeps shaking in Turkey and Syria. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Hit by aftershocks the day after a powerful earthquake, followed by another almost as strong.
We started taking people out and we heard screams, but we did not know the source. We did not see anyone. They were all under the rubble.
And the search through the wreckage continues. It's up to at least 5,000 dead, more than 20,000 injured, an untold number buried, perhaps still alive, in thousands of collapsed buildings.
Search and rescue teams from around the world are joining the effort to find survivors. It's help that's badly needed.
It's a very difficult task for us. We need the international community to do something. Northwest Syria now, it's a disaster area.
That's Ismail al-Abdullah, a volunteer with the Syrian opposition emergency group, the White Helmets.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. A police officer was shot and killed early this morning in Milwaukee. We don't know the details yet. The day after an officer was shot and killed in McKeesport, Pennsylvania, another cop was wounded, now recovering at home, responding to a call of a man with mental health issues.
We encountered a third McKeesport officer. He again produced the firearm and fired at that officer. There was an exchange of gunfire, and the subject was wounded.
Allegheny County Police Superintendent Christopher Kearns, that man now stable in a hospital. A man with neo-Nazi ties and a woman facing charges in Maryland accused of plotting to attack Baltimore's power grid, cutting off electricity. FBI Special Agent in charge, Thomas Sobocinski, says the two hoped
it would lay this city to waste.
President Biden will deliver his State of the Union address tonight, touting a strong job market and lower inflation after a price spike Republicans blamed him for.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy preempted the president's address, saying yesterday that America's future depends on less government spending and that cuts are the way that he will compromise on raising the debt ceiling.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. Someone somewhere in Washington state got lucky last night. The only Powerball winner. Ticket worth $754 million. America's listening to Fox News.
My friend had his home stolen. The crime is home title theft. It's real. It's horrendous, but it's real, and it's everywhere. Now, luckily, this was just a demo, but I saw how criminals all around the world target American homeowners, and that's why I protect my home with Home Title Lock, and you need to as well. And a thief can simply forge your signature on a legal document claiming you sold your home to them. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you, but Home Title Lock does. So protect yourself. Just go to their website. It's HometitleLock.com/Sean, S-E-A-N. Verify your home's title is still safely in your name. Then just register your address for a free, no-obligation home title report for your files. That is a $100 value, absolutely free. That's HometitleLock.com/Sean, HometitleLock.com/Sean, S-E-A-N.
Clear skies, 15 degrees. WIBX news time is 7:03. Well, the City of Rome's first female Common Council president has been endorsed by the city's Republican Party to possibly become the city's first female city court judge. Stephanie Viselli was endorsed by the Rome Republican Committee on Sunday. If elected, she would become the first woman to serve as Rome City Court judge. She is a native of Rome, graduating from Rome Free Academy in 1985. She attended Ithaca College, where she obtained a BA in political science, earned a law degree at Syracuse University College of Law. You can read more on our website at WIBX950.com. Well, many New York nursing homes under fire for their treatment of residents since the pandemic. But a story out of Miller Place, New York, a hamlet on Long Island, certainly takes the cake. The 82-year-old identified woman was pronounced dead on Saturday at 11:15 in the morning at the Water's Edge Rehab and Nursing Center in Port Jefferson. But 3 hours later, when the funeral home was preparing her body, they made an amazing discovery. She, in fact, was not dead. She was alive and breathing. The woman was taken to a local hospital. Her condition is unknown. The case has been sent to the New York Attorney General's office for investigation. Former Long Island Congressman Lee Zeldin says he's not ruling out a run against Senator Kirsten Gillibrand next year. Zeldin made the remark during a press conference at the Albany Hilton, saying it would be an epic clash if he decided to challenge Gillibrand. Zeldin, a Republican, also revealed he's being contacted about the possibility of running for other positions on the local and federal levels. He ran for governor last year but was defeated by Governor Kathy Hochul. Organizers of the New York State Fair have announced the first concert that will be part of the 2023 lineup. Smitty, it's for country fans like you. Tyler Hubbard of Florida Georgia Line is set to be on the Chevy Park Experience stage on Tuesday, August 29th. Shows that are part of the Chevy Music Series are included as part of daily admission. This year's fair is scheduled to run August 23rd until Labor Day, which is September 4th. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast looking for highs today reaching about 40 degrees. Off to a cool start right now, 15 degrees. We have rain showers possible after 5 p.m. today. Otherwise, cloudy skies this afternoon, a high of 40 degrees. Showers likely through the overnight tonight, a low of 33 degrees. Slight chance of snow showers before 10 a.m. tomorrow. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and a high of 36. And we warm it up again as we get to the end of the week. A chance of some freezing rain before noon on Thursday. A high of 40 degrees, mostly cloudy with a high of 48 on Friday. Saturday, chance of snow showers and a high of 33. This yo-yo up and down, up and down. Right now, we have...
That's what makes you sick.
Clear skies and 15 degrees. WIBX news time is 7:06.
All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, it's Super Bowl week. The Kansas City Chiefs are back and ready to avenge their Super Bowl loss from 2 years ago. KC took part in the Super Bowl opening night in Phoenix. Hundreds of media members on hand for interviews with players, coaches ahead of Sunday's big game. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes said he isn't ready to talk about being a dynasty just yet, adding they have to win some more rings.
Mahomes, you got one Super Bowl?
Yeah, come on. Whatever. Mahomes also said his injured ankle is better than it was prior to the AFC Championship game, but he'll limp around just to get everybody's sympathy. Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts says they have their minds on just one goal, and that is winning Super Bowl 57. Hurts and the Eagles spoke to hundreds of media members during Super Bowl opening night in Phoenix on Monday. Jason Kelce, the center for the Eagles, has made headlines not only because he'll be facing it off against his brother Travis of the Chiefs, but he also is awaiting the arrival of his third child. Kelce says he hopes his wife can hold off having their daughter until after Sunday's game. And that makes sense, right? A couple of other sports notes. The Clippers close out their road trip with a 124-116 victory over the Nets in Brooklyn. The Knicks will visit the Magic tonight. In the NHL, the Islanders smothered the Flyers 2-1 in Philadelphia to extend their win streak. And the Rangers take down the Flames in overtime, 5-4 in OT. The Devils hold on to the top Canucks in overtime. The Devils came away with a victory over Vancouver, 5-4 in OT in Newark.
The Jalen Hurts story, I mean, sometimes we get a little silly in sports, but somebody actually took the time to write down, according to Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, the most important thing, they're all focused on one thing, and that is...
winning the game.
I thought he was going to say the debut of She Came from the Woods in box offices this weekend. I thought that's what they were all looking forward to.
And by the way, a couple of other things. The Syracuse Orange tomorrow night. This all in the midst of Boeheim's, made-up controversy here over his snarkiness.
Is it an entitlement thing? I guess that's what it...
Or are we dealing with, your overconfidence? You're going to be canceled because of your confidence and your snarkiness. We're going to cancel you. Syracuse is at Florida State tomorrow night, 7 p.m. That game we originally said was on ESPN2. It is on ESPN U.
You are correct. You.
So you'll get it as long as you have the full tier on your cable system. And the Comets will host Hershey Friday night. The Pioneers will be on the road. And this is interesting because of the Super Bowl. Anybody watching HBO's The Last of Us? No. I haven't started watching this yet, but I'm told it's really, really good.
I've heard about it. I don't even know. Is it about a relationship? I don't even know what it's about.
If somebody wants to let us know what it's about, I don't know. I'm just catching up on the HBO series Barry. My wife and I have been watching that. It's the type of thing where an episode ends, I'm like, we got to watch. You got to see what happened, right? We can't go to bed now.
What's that about?
Barry is a really cool story about a guy who came back from the war. This is modern day times. So he was in Afghanistan, but he ended up being there's a twist, but he ended up killing people over there.
Sure, okay.
And then he was greeted, didn't have a family. He was greeted when he came home by an older gentleman who basically took him under his wing and turned him into a hitman. And his job is to go around the country and go in, and he's really good at it, and he kills people that need to go. So, but it comes a point where he came across an acting school. Henry Winkler is in this too, and he plays kind of a flamboyant Hollywood guy who teaches people how to act. And he starts to fall in love with acting and now starts to feel guilt. Prior to this, he had no guilt. It's just a job. I go out, I kill somebody, I'm good at it, I don't make any mistakes. But now he's second-guessing himself. He's having flashbacks from the war. He's having flashbacks from relationships he's getting into. And it's really, but no one will let him leave the killing business. Every time he thinks he's out, they suck him back in. Yeah. So that's what Barry is about. It's really, really good.
I thought it was some, sit down with Barack Obama or something. A series of interviews.
And it's Bill Hader. It's funny. I had that general feeling in the beginning too. That's I don't know why I initially went to Obama, and I didn't have any interest in it. There's nothing to do with that. It's that's your storyline. Really good. And then this HBO series, The Last of Us, is enormous right now. People are talking about it. The world of television is filled with uncertainties, and the one rule that they know at HBO is don't put programming up against the Super Bowl. So HBO, which normally releases their new episodes on Sunday night of their big ones.
Okay.
And The Last of Us is their big one, right? That all started with Sopranos and shows like that. So The Last of Us would normally come out on Sunday evening, but not this week. HBO and CBS have determined episode 5 of the series will be released via the HBO Max streaming platform on Friday at 9 p.m. instead of Sunday night.
Okay.
So if you want to watch it, you'll be able to see it this one time only on Friday night. So there you have that. The Last of Us. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm going to check it out. Let me break. Hold on tight. We'll talk about Mohawk Valley Hometown Heroes in just a few minutes. 7:12 here on Tuesday morning at WIBX.
Every day, more than 250 people from all walks of life die from a drug overdose. They include our families, friends, and our neighbors. Their deaths are preventable with a simple first aid tool. Naloxone, also known by the brand name Narcan, is first aid and it saves lives. It's easy to use and can be administered by anyone. Oneida County wants to get it into as many businesses and homes as possible. Sign up online and receive an overdose rescue kit with 2 doses of Narcan nasal spray for free. Go to ocgov.net and click on Save a Life to request your free kit.
It's February. You know what that means. Love is in the air. That's right, Valentine's Day is Tuesday, February 14th, and the Old Wicker Mill is your one-stop shop for all your Valentine gifts. Valentine's Day is a day to express your love. This year, give a beautiful gift of distinction that will be enjoyed for years to come. Let's think out of the box. For your little Valentine, we have a fun toy department with Nido, Coco Melon, Bluey, and Minecraft toys. Maybe your Valentine loves gardening. The Old Wicker Mill has a huge garden department. There's Beekman Bath & Body, Lolita wine glasses, touch lamps, Nora Fleming, Dr. Squatch soap, a large women's clothing department. We're your Vera Bradley headquarters, and of course we have traditional Valentine's gifts, cards, candy, and all the top jewelry brands like Pandora, Brighton, Swarovski, Ella Stein, Uno de 50, E. Newton, and so much more. So this Valentine's Day, express your love to all your Valentines with something special from the Old Wicker Mill, located in the New Hartford Shopping Center, where everything we have is fun, functional, and affordable.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Every day at NBT Bank, we focus our business around all the ways we can help yours. We're large enough to offer leading business and digital solutions, but local enough to ensure personalized one-on-one service. So turn to NBT Bank for a full range of business solutions, like capital and treasury management services, even fraud protection, and see how NBT Bank is just the right size to help you do big things. Visit nbtbank.com to learn more and start a conversation. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products and online shops, it's all under one new roof at Max's Print Shop in Marcy. Order anytime and any quantity in person or online at maxsprintshop.com. Since 1978, we pride ourselves on personally meeting every customer's need. We can take your project from design to production. And remember, Max's Print Shop will stitch anything. And we mean anything in the Utica-Rome area. Find us at 9555 River Road in Marcy or online at maxsprintshop.com.
And coming up, by the way, from Max's Print Shop, we're going to be giving away one of our brand new mugs. You can check it out right here if you're watching on YouTube. It has a WIBX 950 logo and 106.9 FM. And then on the backside, Keeler logo. And inside, it's clean, so you're able to drink out of it. Beautiful mugs, all part of our giveaway coming up with the Hobica Free Money question of the day. We'll do that. And this morning, we'll also have tickets for a table for 6 for Fat Cats Comedy Club. And it's a special Valentine's weekend. Karen Rontowski will be in studio on Friday morning. She's doing a thing called Psychic Comedy. She's a headliner that travels the country, but this time of year, she feels that this is great for taking your special lady out for a night of comedy, but it adds a little psychic touch to it as well. Really cool. And you can get tickets by going to fatcatscomedyclub.com, and we will give you a chance to win a table for 6 coming up in a few minutes. Also, I should say, if I could, that this week's show includes a local guy who is local right here, as a matter of fact. So it's Karen Rontowski along with Will Phillips, who does afternoons on WOUR.
Yes.
During the weekends, he travels the country and does comedy.
I knew Will did comedy.
Funny guy.
I didn't know he
stand-up.
traveled that much. Wow,
Yeah.
that's good for him. And he's a cool guy. Check him out.
All over the world.
The world.
Yeah. Or at the very least, coast to coast. The River Hills Properties, one of the fastest growing real estate companies, I would say the fastest growing real estate company here in the area, in the region. And the question is, why? Well, here's your answer. It's all of the extra things they do. all of the services they provide. They're with you from start to finish, and that means absolutely everything. They go out of their way to learn your property, to know everything there is to know about the property. For instance, for us, we had put in a new kitchen. We had New York sash windows. We had Collis put in a new furnace and air conditioning system. We did all of these improvements. That's just the beginning. But we had receipts for everything. They put all of that into a book along with everything else that was done to the property. And when we went to sell our home, every potential buyer was handed the book. And it's an awesome tool if you're looking to come home and make a decision. Should I make an offer on this home? Our house sold in under a week, and I believe it had everything to do with Bill and Robin Mondra. And the fact that they're there every time the house is shown, if a prospective buyer has a question on the fly, they just ask it. And your listing agent knows your property, and they'll answer that question on the fly, speeds up the process, and certainly takes all the stress away from you. That's the River Hills way. In Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica. Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com, serving all of upstate New York. Call 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
And in Rome, piping in here this morning, I will definitely watch Biden's speech tonight. I've been having trouble sleeping. Bada bing. That's Ann's. She'll be doing comedy at Fat Cats this weekend. And, of course, we mentioned this weekend's Valentine's show. Next weekend, Jimmy Fallon will be in our studio Friday morning. Davey, you've made all the arrangements? Everything's good?
Yes, sir.
Friday morning in studio with us.
The only thing I can't roll out the red carpet because I don't have one.
We'll have to find you one. And then in the afternoon, noon till 3, he'll transmit his program to the entire world from our studios here. And then 5 sellout shows at Fat Cats Comedy Club, which is located inside Tony's Pizzeria. 5 sellout shows. You see, if you're driving down the road and you see up on the light poles, the utility poles, these really awesome salutes to our veterans. Photos, the years where they were in service, et cetera, all there by honoring, and a way for us to honor our service members. It's called Mohawk Valley Hometown Heroes. Tom Bono, who has done so much for veterans, is on the line right now. Heads the program. Tom, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, Tom, thanks for coming on. So we wanted to talk about and continue to spread the word on this program. And essentially, can you just remind us how this was born, if you will, and how it's expanding?
Sure. Well, last year, one of our committee members, who was a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution, Michelle McKenna, her and her husband took a little trip to Vermont, and, they saw the banners there on the light post. So she had an idea. Gee, I wonder if we can do this, locally. So she contacted myself, and I'm president of the Vietnam Veterans of America, and we contacted Joe Fricola, Commander Military Order of the Purple Heart. So we started this committee, and we researched it a little. Obviously, had a meeting with the mayor, Paul Murray from Utica, and our goal was to try to get 50 banners.
Yeah.
So we ended up with 198.
Wow.
So then this year, other communities were in touch with us. They also wanted to get on board. So I had called our county executive, Anthony Pacenti, and asked if he could get a press conference together.
Mm-hmm.
And the mayor of Rome, Jackie Izzo, New Hartford Mayor Don Ryan, Whitesboro Mayor Glenn Hopsicker, we all got together, and then since then, Yorkville has also requested to join in our program. So that's how it started.
How much is a banner?
Okay, the banner now is $150.
Okay.
And keep in mind, this is not a fundraiser. That's
what it costs.
Cost
Yep.
of the banner. Then there's hardware, which is like $70 a piece. shipping costs, so on and so forth. So with the help of some of the community, Niscopa for one, Harley Davidson, John Romano, they sent in donations, and this helps us with the cost of the hardware, and because we wanted to keep it as low as possible.
Yeah. And that allows their donations allow you to keep it at $150.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it'll be on display. So it goes up on Memorial Day, and it stays till Veterans Day. And that $150 doesn't. It's not for 1 year. It actually is for 3 consecutive years, right? And then afterward, the family will be presented with that banner. It's a really cool program.
Whoever purchases the banner, we will return that banner to that person.
That's awesome.
So, and again, if you is it broken down where if you are from Rome, you will be on the base? It'll be on I forget is it 835?
825.
825
goes right through Griffiths Park. 825.
So do you request which municipality?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
Here's the thing: if you go online, Mohawk Valley Hometown Heroes spelled out .com, and that website is our website. And on there, you can submit the information either by mail, and that would be mailed to P.O. Box 855, New Hartford, New York, 13413, or you can submit it online, upload the picture, send with a credit card. You could do everything online, or if you prefer, you can mail it in. But anyway, on the application form, it states right on their location. Then there's a drop-down box, and you would select, Utica, New Hartford, Rome.
And
do you go into the valley at all?
Do I go into the valley?
Well, I'm saying, does the program go into the valley?
Oh, well, let's not yet.
Okay.
Put it that way.
It's funny because
we just started, like I said, we just started last year, and these groups. But if anyone's interested, they could, contact us.
Okay. Well, listen, it's a great program, and these are people that we should be honoring and not forgetting. And as you know, it's important. So many have put their lives on the line to protect our freedoms, and this is just one little way to remember them and honor them.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Great job, Tom.
Thank you for what you do in this program and so many other things that you do for veterans.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. Tom Bono.
Yeah, he does an outstanding.
When he said, "Do I go to the Valley?" It's the first question my wife asked. I said, "I'm from the Valley. Have you ever been there?" I've never been past the East Utica line. There are so many people that have been like, the world ends right about by Charlestown. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if I can make that trip to nowhere.
That's funny. But I wouldn't be surprised if it winds up in Herkimer County next year. Or
I think it's a program
soon.
that it would be awesome to incorporate down there as well.
Yeah, and I think it'll be spreading further in Oneida County in the coming years.
No
as
doubt.
Well. Camden, Waterville.
And again, Mohawk Valley HometownHeroes.com is the website. And you can do it all right there. You can pay. You can upload the photo, give the name and reference, whether it be, here's one example, Army, World War II, Bronte, Alfred Bronte, town of Northville, hometown hero, the Bronte family. So you can put all that information in there, right up on the website, and you'll have that honor up throughout the streets of the Mohawk Valley. Really cool.
Memorial Parkway in Utica, Genesee Street, and Campion Road in New Hartford, along with Oneida Street in New Hartford, Main Street and Clinton Street in Whitesboro, and of course through Griffiths Park on Route 825 in the city of Rome.
Coming up, we'll do our free money question of the day from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. Chance for you to win $100 in cash plus a whole bunch more that we'll get to. Coming right up. Also, Celeste Friend. You know that the city of Utica has a $14 million surplus? How did we get there? And where did is that all COVID money? Where did that come from?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'd love Celeste's thoughts on how the city got to that point, and what would she do with it if she had $14 million?
She is one of the Democrats running for mayor. There are 4 candidates total, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. We'll speak with Celeste Friend coming up. 728 at WIBX.
Adirondack Home Furniture's Flex Steel Big Game Sale is going on now, but only for a limited time. Hurry in for discounts up to 15% off select sofas, recliners, occasional pieces, and leather furniture. With hundreds of designer fabrics to choose from, your new piece is guaranteed to have the look you want. Stop dreaming and start creating the home of your dreams with quality, long-lasting Flex Steel furniture from Adirondack Home Furniture. Beauty and comfort is made to last with Flex Steel's exclusive lifetime warranty blue steel spring seating. Stop into Adirondack Home Furniture today and save up to 15% during their big game sale. Visit their Flex Steel gallery for the best selection of Flex Steel furniture on sale. The best value and top quality furniture for your home is at Adirondack Home Furniture. You don't want to miss out on the Flex Steel big game sale at Adirondack Home Furniture. Hurry in, sale ends soon. Located at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica.
COVID is still spreading. Don't let your guard down. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But your risk is greater if you're over 65, if you're obese, have heart or lung disease, diabetes, or another underlying health condition. Lower your risk of serious illness, hospitalization, and death with the most up-to-date COVID vaccines, including the booster. Learn more at ny.gov/booster.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
So I want to talk this morning about Fred F. Collis and Sons Heating and Cooling, and let me start with Mike over there, Mike Kowalski, and we had a problem over the weekend. Friday, of course, gets so cold, the wind's blowing. We're 13, 14, 15 degrees by Friday night, below zero. And what do you think happens? The furnace stops working. Real problem. We reached out. He immediately helped us get a service technician there. Of course, you can always call the phone number. Look it right up. They were there within about an hour. We had everything restored and running, but realized that we're dealing with a furnace that's over 25 years old. So chances are this is not going to be an isolated problem. Sure enough, it happened again on Saturday. We were down for about an hour, but it popped back up and heated for the rest of the weekend, and then things finally warmed up. Yesterday, they didn't move. They didn't waste any time. We said, I think we need a new furnace. And yesterday during the day, they were gone by 4 o'clock. They installed a brand new heater, actually fixed a few issues that we had with some cold air returns that were eliminated in a job when we redid the kitchen. And they fixed that problem, put in, and even added a humidifier to the furnace because my wife complains about how dry the house is with forced air. So added the entire system, set up the app. The guys that worked yesterday were just incredible. They were polite, respectful of the property. They cleaned everything up before they left and just left us in a really good place. So why would you call Collis? Because you know what you are getting. You know you're getting the best service. And I could not recommend anyone else. Phone number 315-381-8982. Fred F. Collis and Sons.com. Do I have that right? Yeah, fredfcollis.com is the website. Awesome job. The house was toasty warm this morning, Jeff.
Well,
I didn't want to even come. I'm like, I can't leave the house now. It's just too warm.
I was thinking the same myself this morning. The dog was laying next to me, and I'm like, you know what? It's nice and warm over here. I don't want to move. But to your point about Collis, that is great that you don't have to worry about that now. We get another cold snap. They came in, they helped you out Friday, and then now you're all set going forward.
Just like that. And the other thing is, even on Friday night, Mike is texting back and forth with us. Do you need space heaters? Anything you guys need? And we had kind of worked everything all out. But when you want it done, and you want it done right, without any screwing around, you call Collis. Got a break. Let's do news, actually, and we'll do our free money question coming up in a second. 7:33 right now at WIBX.
Thank you, Bill. Clear skies, 16 degrees. WIBX News Time, 7:33. Need bucks? With Jackson Hewitt, don't wait weeks for the IRS to send your tax refund. Get up to $3,500 today when you file your taxes at Jackson Hewitt. Details at jacksonhewitt.com. More than 5,000 people in Turkey and over 1,600 more in Syria are confirmed dead following Monday's devastating earthquake in southern Turkey. A magnitude 7.8 quake struck before dawn near the border with Syria. Many people are believed to still be trapped under the rubble of thousands of collapsed buildings. Tyree Nichols' parents are set to attend President Biden's State of the Union address tonight. The Congressional Black Caucus extended the invitation to the parents of the 29-year-old man who was fatally beaten by 5 Memphis, Tennessee police officers last month. The officers, who are also black, have been fired and charged with second-degree murder. People living near the site of the train derailment in Ohio still can't go home. About 50 freight cars, including some carrying hazardous chemicals, went off the tracks near East Palestine Friday night. The village is about 90 miles southeast of Cleveland on the Ohio-Pennsylvania state line. Someone in Washington State is holding a Powerball ticket worth more than $750 million following last night's drawing. The lump sum prize is over $407 million. Again, it's believed one winner with a ticket sold in Washington State. That person has yet to come forward. The state of Nevada is considering a bill that would allow non-citizens to serve on police departments. Assembly Bill 30 in that state would allow non-U.S. citizens who live and work in Nevada to join the police department. Non-U.S. citizens have been allowed to obtain teaching certificates in Nevada since 2015. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast: showers likely later in the day today. We're expecting increasing clouds, mostly cloudy for this afternoon, a high today of 40 degrees. Showers possible this evening and likely before midnight. Overnight, cloudy skies with a low of 33. Slight chance of snow showers to start the day on Wednesday. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and a high of 36. Thursday, a chance of some freezing rain before noon. Then rain showers later in the day and a high of 40. Friday, mostly cloudy and a high of 47. Bill, right now we have clear skies, now 15 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:35.
Hi, Davey. Let's do our free money question of the day from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika, for all of your legal needs. The Hobeika Law Firm. Davey, we're going this morning with caller number what?
5.
Fifth caller through the lines right now. Your chance to win dough, cash, $100, C-Note, and more. 315-736-0186. What was the caller number again?
5.
Sorry, I didn't get it. Sorry. Caller 5. Your chance to win is right now on WIBX.
Hi, I'm Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti. Do you have unused or expired medicine in your home? Any medication can be harmful if misused or accidentally taken by a child or pet. Let us help you safely dispose all your unused medicines with easy-to-use medication deactivation bags that can be thrown away in your home trash. While supplies last, get 2 free medication disposal bags mailed directly to your home.
Hurry and don't delay. Order yours now at ocopioidtaskforce.org. That's ocopioidtaskforce.org.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares. The Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
You have cancer. 3 words you wish you could unhear. But just because a cancer diagnosis may be a shock to your system doesn't mean cancer surgery has to be. Now, there's Edge Radiosurgery. It breaks down tumors in less than an hour per treatment. No knife, no hospital stay. Faster treatments, lower risk. Edge Radiosurgery, now at AMP of New York. Learn more at ampofny.com/edge. You may experience side effects which may be severe. Ask your doctor of Edge Radiosurgery. Associated Medical Professionals of New York is right for you.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, "After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air, I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
At AmeriQ, we know that today, more than ever, real connections matter. And there's no better place to create meaningful connections than in your own home. Build a solid foundation with a construction loan from AmeriQ. Just like your home, our rates and terms are custom built for you, your project, and your budget. Connect with us at ameriq.org/build. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect. Membership eligibility required. Insured by NCUA.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, good morning. Good morning. It's time to do our free money question of the day from Hobeika. The Hobeika Law Firm, Hobeika. Andrew and Joseph Hobeika at 315-724-1600 for all of your legal needs. Are you ready?
Yes.
We have Bob in Deerfield ready to go. Hello, Robert. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good. You ready to take a shot here?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. You know you have 7 seconds to answer.
Right.
Get it in, even if you have to guess, get an answer in, okay?
Okay.
All right, here's your question. If you're out to dinner, the primo course of an Italian meal is this course. Ready? Go.
Primo course. I would say it would be lasagna.
I mean, it is it's the pasta course. I can't say specifically lasagna. But so you have, if you reach the primo course, it's one of their, and today just so happens to be National Fettuccine Alfredo Day. So,
okay.
Well, listen, we will give you, though, a whole bunch of stuff. I have a brand new mug, our official WIBX 950 1069 FM mug, and it comes from the people at Max's Print Shop on River Road in Marcy. They'll print anything, and they do an incredible job over there. We'll also give you the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card, $25. Good at any of these restaurants, Aquavino, Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, and any of the concession stands at Adirondack Bank Center or at Nexus. And we'll give you tickets to Fat Cats Comedy Club with a big Valentine special this week. Karen Rontowski is at Fat Cats this weekend, Friday and Saturday shows All of that, yours. Stand by. Davey's going to hook you up, Bob.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, Bob. Thank you. I mean, he was close with the lasagna, but it's known as there's the meat course, the fish course, or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably not the fish course.
My guess was with the wine. I thought it was
the
wine.
prima wine, yeah. Yeah, pasta. Celeste here? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, bring her on in. Bring her on in. I'm excited because Wayne has requested for her entry into the building the song all about Complete Streets. I know Mark Butler is just so sick of Complete Streets. Mark, I get it. And probably we all are sick of talking about it. But Celeste is one that is totally for it. This little tune is about my experience driving through Genesee Street and experiencing for the first time, and I see a lot of backups, I'm just saying, traffic backups, experiencing for the first time the bike lane at Complete Streets on Genesee Street in Utica.
While driving in my CX-9 by the Stanley on Genesee, a guy in the bike lane with a shopping cart pushing scrap metal right by me. The guy looked rough, but he was moving fast as he kept on tuning his horn. A Chicago market shopping cart dated 1984. Beep, 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 beep. His horn went beep, beep, beep. I pushed my foot down to the floor. Johnny Rocket in my wake. The complete street reduced to a single lane, and now I was forced to brake. He pushed that yellow cart past me as he kept up his horn play. I'll show him this complete street mess gives me the right of way. Beep, 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 beep. His horn went beep, beep, beep. My car went into passing gear like Ricky's he said it would. Now this race is just not fair, his downfall understood. But when I peeked in the rearview mirror, I could not believe my eyes. The grocery cart was right behind, I'm gasping with surprise. Beep, 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 beep. His horn went beep, beep, beep. Now we're doing about 55, I made a second lane. The shopping cart going right past me is messing with my brain. This guy must have been about 75, sucking on a bottle of gin. I'll show him that these complete streets are not for guys like him. Beep, 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 beep. His horn went beep, beep, beep. Now we're doing about 95, his car began to smoke. He still pulled right up next to me as if we're going slow. I rolled on the window and he yelled at me just so I could hear. Hey Keeler, I'm just wondering, can you spare a beer? Can you spare a beer?
Yeah. Oh, there you go, Celeste. There's your Complete Streets in a bundle. Hope you're enjoying them. I am getting a lot of people sending me photos and videos of backed up traffic. It's become the thing now. And they send them to us. I have a ton of them. Lines of traffic, people trying to cross over and get onto Genesee Street, blocking traffic. Are you seeing any of that?
I'm not seeing any of that. I just came across Genesee Street. It was a nice, smooth travel.
Okay, all right.
And the
nobody
mayor...
nobody in a shopping cart?
No, I didn't
pushing,
see any shopping
scrap
carts.
metal, anything like that?
Any shopping carts.
Okay, all right.
The mayor is hiring a traffic engineering sort of consultant firm who's going to come in and really study it.
That's what should have been done in the first place.
Well, but you sort of have to get that they couldn't have what they would have been studying would have been the old system. What we want to know is how's the new system working.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm okay with the order trials. This is why you do trials,
okay,
right?
fair enough.
It'll be really interesting to see what they have to say.
Manaski is all up about the giant surplus.
Well, and Celeste, before we get to a clarification here, and I'm glad you mentioned this because I think there's a misperception, I just want to mention John sends us a message. Speaking of traffic, stay clear of the arterial southbound motor vehicle accident at Oswego Street. traffic is backed up on the Court Street ramp.
That will just back traffic up for a long ways.
So a quick note, and Lance is already sending me questions. He wants a refund check on the $14 million surplus, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not a surplus. It's what the fund balance has grown to over several years. Talk about that.
So every year you can have either a surplus or a deficit, and we've had surpluses the last few years in a row. What this does is over time builds up what's called the general fund balance, and you can sort of think of it as like a cash savings account. The same kind of thing we would do in our own households, right? If you if you were really careful and you watched the grocery bill and you didn't go out to eat too often, you would build up extra money in your account, and then you might put it aside into a savings account. And we all kind of think that that's a good way to proceed because it allows you to weather the tough times. So we've had surpluses a few years in a row. This year, the surplus is $3.8 million, which is an enormous surplus. And I wish it had been lower, but
Does that come from COVID money?
no, all of that is separate. All
Okay.
of that is quite separate. This means that that we spent $3.8 million less from the regular budget than we anticipated. to
So
spend.
one of the complaints that I've heard is that things are put in the budget and it's never drawn off. They're budgeting for A, B, and C, and A, B, and C never get used, so that becomes a part of
that becomes a surplus.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, having a surplus that builds up into this general fund balance is a good thing because, for example, the bonds that we get and our credit rating, in large part, is determined by whether we have this cushion. So bonding agencies like to see you have a cushion. They want to know that you've got sort of cash flow. That you've got good cash flow. So the 14 point something is our total overall general fund balance, made up of both unrestricted funds and restricted funds. The surplus this year was 3.8. But to your point, Bill, that's exactly right. And when I said I wish the surplus hadn't been so big, what I'm exactly thinking of for me, there are sort of two ways in which I wish we were spending that money. One is on infrastructure, and the second is on personnel. We budget for a certain number of employees, and then we don't, in my view, do enough to fill those positions, so that money ends up being surplus at the end of the year. The city is very much understaffed, and I think we need to staff up.
Is there a maximum that a city or municipality in New York can have, or in your fund balance?
If you allow it to get too high, at some point the state controller or other state agencies are going to come in and wag their finger at you. This happened several years ago in Binghamton. With an annual budget of $45 million, they had a $20 million general fund balance. And that at that point, you're just hoarding the taxpayers' money, and you need to either invest it, spend it, or give it back.
Right.
So I think that we're getting very close to having what I would consider enough. And at that point, we need to start really investing it more aggressively. But it is good to have a general fund balance. 11 years ago, the general fund balance was negative $15,000, so we were in the red, and we had to take short-term junk bonds just to make payroll. That's a terrible, terrible situation for a city to be in. We've come out of that. We're in really good shape now. But I would like to start spending some of that money on making sure that we're staffing up appropriately so that we don't end up with these big surpluses. And like I said, I'd also like to be spending some of the money. I have specific infrastructure ideas that I would like to spend some of that money on.
One of them would be the roads, right?
Well, absolutely. Always the roads. Although, given our climate, there's going to be a limited number of roads we can, number of miles we can do in any year. But absolutely, the roads are a top priority. But also, I'd like to do more to kind of to fix up our streetlights. So we have a lot of streetlights along South Genesee Street, where I live, in disrepair. I'd like to pour a bunch of money into that.
Okay.
We can't do that ourselves as an engineering department. It's too big of a job. I think we need to RFP, bring in a big electrical contracting company, and spend a bunch of money at once, but get it fixed up and in good shape, and then good shape going forward.
That's a good thing. The lights not being in sync is a frustration for many drivers.
Well, the traffic lights as well. I was talking about street lights.
Okay.
But you're absolutely right that the street lights, I think that's a really good area to make an important investment in, to get them synced, to have good modern lights. There's something that Katie Aiello has talked about before, which is the Opticom system, which allows public safety trucks, police and fire and ambulances, to sync the lights so they can literally inside their truck press a button, and that turns all the lights ahead of them green so that they can get where they're going as efficiently as possible. So we need to do, traffic light investment. I would absolutely be in favor of.
Bob Cardillo is running for mayor and is not the endorsed Republican, by the way. Over the weekend, city Republicans endorsed Mike Galimi as their candidate. But Bob has put out a release saying that he will dedicate all of his time. If elected, he will be a full-time mayor. The position pays $100,000 or so. He'll be a full-time mayor, not a part-time mayor, and in fact will not take any outside income as well. How do you respond to that? And actually, we just got a copy of his affidavit, which was just he signed.
Right. It's an interesting thing that one should even have to have this conversation because he's absolutely right. I don't know how much more right one person could be about this particular subject. I think Bob and I are going to disagree on a lot of things, but we're not going to disagree about this. Utica needs a full-time mayor. Utica deserves a full-time mayor. Utica deserves someone who doesn't want to divide up their energy and their headspace and their time. And absolutely, the position certainly pays well enough. I have every intention. I have put together a life that consists of separate jobs, and I've already actually shed some of them in order to be on the council. I'm no longer a member of Casanova Artisans, and my jewelry business has I've sort of shrunk it down to a minimum.
Should you have to give up your? I understand what Bob is doing there, but should you have to give up your any other income?
Well, I suppose it depends upon the source of that income. But if you're getting that income because you're doing some work.
Right.
In exchange, then you should. I think that you shouldn't have any other professional obligations. I think that's the way that I would put it. It's not so much about the money, but what are your professional obligations?
Right. They could push that over to radio because we all have like 3 or 4 jobs. I mean,
I know what that feels like.
Just to survive.
And I know exactly the order in which I will be, resigning from different positions that I hold.
So
fair enough.
Why does this is something Bob talked about before. I don't know why this keeps coming up. Is there an suggestion that the current mayor is a part-time mayor?
No, absolutely not. The current mayor is not a part-time mayor.
No, in his release, he was actually praising Palmieri.
Yeah.
And said that we need to continue. That's the release.
Mayor Palmieri works very hard. It's his only job. It's his only professional obligation. I think that previous mayors, I'm not going to name names, but there have been mayors in our recent past who did not, who retained other professional obligations and income sources, and did not, and the city didn't fare well under those arrangements. That may be why it's coming up.
Can you imagine Ed Hanna? He's like, all right, I'm going to give up everything. I'm all of my money coming in. I couldn't see that, but he seemed to be pretty much a full-time mayor. Although he had a lot of extracurricular activity.
Yes, he did. But presumably none of those were income generating.
Yeah, that's a good point.
A couple questions for Celeste. If she doesn't win the primary, would she run on a third-party line? And has Frank Miola asked her to drop out and run for council instead again?
I absolutely, whoever wins the primary, whether it's myself or Frank DeBrango, I will 100, 200, 1,000% support the Democratic nominee. So whoever wins the primary has all of my support, whether it's myself or Mr. DeBrango. So I will not run on a third line.
I have Mike asking this morning that you live in the St. E's area.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on what should happen to St. Elizabeth?
Right.
Yesterday we had county legislator Tim Julian, former mayor, who said it really just has to come down, and you need to prevent maybe low-income housing should not be an option.
The city fairly recently, within the last 2 years, hired out with a private firm to do a housing study of all of Utica. And one of the things that they came up with for the St. E's campus was really interesting. It's a very large campus, and it's easy for people to not be aware of. Just, you drive by it, you see the frontage of it, but it's a very deep campus. I want to say that it's 38 acres, something like that. There's an enormous opportunity to build a brand new neighborhood of single family middle class housing, an entire neighborhood that could echo and mimic the styles that you see up behind it, Ballantyne Bray, Proctor Boulevard or Prospect, Douglas Crescent, all these sort of Olmsted, buildings. So you could build, I believe that the housing study showed the possibility of 40 single-family homes. Now, to make that possible, right, it's an entire neighborhood, which is just sort of a once-in-a-generation lifetime opportunity for Utica to build an entire new neighborhood in South Utica of those kinds of homes. So that is what I think we should pursue.
Okay.
Now, for that to be possible, like you say, we're probably the entire building is going to have to come down, and the entire site is going to have to be made ready for that, and that takes a big public investment. Whether we're talking some federal money, from state money, some county money, some city money, we're all going to have to sort of go all in and spend, $15-20 million to get that site ready, so that a contractor, a developer, would look at it and say, "Yeah, I'll come in there, and I'm going to build some nice homes, and I'm going to sell them." So to make it worth it to a developer, the public is first going to have to make a big investment.
John says there's no need for a bicycle lane on Genesee Street. First of all, I would never ride a bike on Genesee Street because.
Okay, well, guess that settles it for John.
It's
then.
not. I'm just listen. I'm
I
just
know.
reading.
I'm not talking about you.
It's not safe. Too many cars. Second of all, what do we do with the bike lane all winter long? I could see if this was a resort area and we had people riding bikes and renting bikes all year long. This is ridiculous. Please see. He sent me some pictures of a Cisco trailer, a tractor trailer parked right across the bicycle lane. I had to laugh when the mayor extended the bicycle lane for another 90 days in the middle of winter. It doesn't make sense. The bicycle lane does not make riding a bike on Tennessee Street any safer. And then he corrected that, and it's Genesee Street.
Well, first of all,
it is funny though. Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee would be nice around that, right? We all would like that warmer weather.
Quickly, I have like 30 seconds.
So, first of all, you can't have a bike lane some time of the year and not other times of the year. That just isn't how you arrange your roads. But also, there are more people who ride bicycles and who even live downtown than we're aware of. So,
right.
Yeah. That's
so worth it.
If I could just squeeze this in quickly.
20 seconds.
How do you have a bike lane on Route 5S, which is a highway that feeds into Utica, and then you don't have a bike-friendly area in your downtown where there's businesses and you want people coming together? It doesn't make sense.
Time is up. Okay, I got a break. Thank you, Celeste.
You're welcome.
We'll do it again. WIBX Utica Rome. It's 8 o'clock. That was it.
China wants its balloon back. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, whatever's left of it, saying it's their property as U.S. Navy divers keep recovering pieces off the South Carolina coast where it was shot down Saturday.
We're now learning from U.S. military officials that the spy flight had the potential for explosives to detonate and self-destruct. Senior government sources telling us that they will analyze the remains of the flight at an FBI processing lab in Quantico, Virginia. The airship, which flew over several military bases in the United States, weighed nearly 2,000 pounds and was 200 feet tall.
Fox's Brooks Singman. Republicans say President Biden waited too long to destroy the balloon, demanding more answers. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik just told Fox
he abysmally failed in terms of handling this as the commander-in-chief.
Will the president bring the balloon up tonight and talk about China in his State of the Union address?
The president will have a conversation with Americans tonight, many of whom feel like they are struggling, to which the president will argue that everything is actually going well. The White House adds that President Biden, quote, will show the American people his plan to build on the unprecedented deficit reduction his leadership has already delivered.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has a message for the president.
Surely we both agree that the national debt is too high.
Urging him to agree with House Republicans and attach spending cuts to a debt limit increase. Turkey's president has just declared a 3-month national emergency. As rescue crews keep digging through earthquake rubble, searching for anyone trapped alive, and they keep finding some. Bringing brief joy amid a lot of sorrow. More than 5,000 people are dead there and in Syria. Over 20,000 are injured and more are buried in the wreckage of thousands of collapsed buildings. A police officer is dead in Milwaukee, shot early this morning. We're waiting more info on what happened the day after an officer was killed in McKeesport, Pennsylvania by a gunman who also wounded another cop before he himself was shot and injured. America's listening to Fox News.
My friend had his home stolen. The crime is home title theft. It's real. It's horrendous, but it's real, and it's everywhere. Now, luckily, this was just a demo, but I saw how criminals all around the world target American homeowners, and that's why I protect my home with Home Title Lock, and you need to as well. and a thief can simply forge your signature on a legal document claiming you sold your home to them. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you, but Home Title Lock does. So protect yourself. Just go to their website. It's HometitleLock.com/Sean, SEAN. Verify your home's title is still safely in your name. Then just register your address for a free, no-obligation home title report for your files. That is a $100 value, absolutely free. That's HometitleLock.com/Sean, HometitleLock.com/Sean, SEAN.
All right, we have some sunshine, 16 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Baird Private Wealth Management, a strong financial partner for 100 years. Visit bairdoffices.com/Utica. Rome's first female Common Council president has been endorsed by the city's Republican Party to run for city court judge. Stephanie Viselli was endorsed by the Rome Republican Committee over the weekend for city court judge. If elected, she would be the first woman to serve on the city court bench. Viselli is a native Roman, graduating from RFA in 1985. She attended Ithaca College with a BA in political science and earned her law degree at Syracuse University College of Law. More on that on our website at WIBX950.com. Many New York nursing homes have been under fire for the treatment of residents since the pandemic, but one story you may not believe. It happened in Miller Place, New York. It's a hamlet on Long Island. An 82-year-old woman was pronounced dead, on Saturday morning at the Water's Edge Rehab and Nursing Center in Port Jefferson. 3 hours later, at a funeral home, they were preparing her body and made an astonishing discovery. She was still alive and breathing. The woman was taken to a local hospital, her condition not known. That case is now under investigation by the New York State Attorney General's office. Organizers of the New York State Fair announcing the first concert that will be part of the 2023 lineup. Tyler Hubbard of Florida Georgia Line is set to be on the Chevy Park Experience stage on Tuesday, August 29th. Shows that are part of the Chevy Music Series are included as part of daily admission. This year's fair scheduled to run August 23rd through Labor Day, which is September 4th. Former Long Island Congressman Lee Zeldin says he's not ruling out a run against Senator Kirsten Gillibrand next year. Zeldin made the remark yesterday during a press conference at the Albany Hilton, saying it would be an epic clash if he decided to challenge her. Zeldin, a Republican, also revealed he's being contacted to run for other positions on the local and federal levels. He ran for governor last year but was defeated by incumbent Kathy Hochul. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for increasing clouds as we head toward the afternoon today. Looking at a high of 40 degrees. We do have a chance of rain showers this evening after 4 p.m. For tonight, showers likely around midnight. Otherwise cloudy, a low of 33. Wednesday, slight chance of snow showers to start the day. Then cloudy skies, a high of 36. Could see some freezing rain early on Thursday. Then changing to rain in the afternoon with a high of 40 degrees. Clear skies, 16 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:06.
All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, it's Super Bowl week, and it looks like some football action going on during this week. That includes the possibility that the Giants could be losing their coordinators. What do you
I
think
was
of
hoping
this?
you'd say quarterback, but
defensive coordinator Wink Martindale and offensive coordinator Mike Kafka, both up for jobs as head coaches.
yeah, one in Arizona and the other one is for the Colts. I mean, look, they're trying to build something in New York with the Giants. Everyone wants to be a head coach. I get that. You get all the money and you make all the decisions, but where are the Colts going and where are the Cardinals going?
Kansas City Chiefs are back and ready to avenge their Super Bowl loss from 2 years ago. KC took part in the Super Bowl opening night in Phoenix with hundreds of media members on hand for interviews with players and coaches ahead of Sunday's big game. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes says he's not ready to talk about being a dynasty just yet. Well, that's good, because what did they want?
One.
Probably not time to talk about that as of yet. And Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts says they have their minds set on one goal. Stop talking about everything else. We're going to win Super Bowl 57.
Oh, I thought it was movie night on Friday.
It is not. It's so close, but not. Clippers take down the Nets in the NBA in Brooklyn. The Knicks, by the way, the final score on that was 124-116. The Knicks visit the Magic tonight Islanders in the NHL beat the Flyers 2-1 in Philadelphia. The Rangers take down the Flames in overtime. Final score 5-4. And the Devils hold on to top the Canucks. They beat Vancouver 5-4 in overtime. That played in New Jersey. Wednesday night, Syracuse University basketball plays at Florida State. It's a big one. 7 p.m. And Davie, it is on ESPNU. Celeste Friend hanging out for a little bit. I have some questions, some commitments that Bob Cardillo has said that he will make. Why he's made those commitments, I want your take on that. And a few things that he says he'll do, I want your impression of coming up. And some people have some questions. We'll get to that and more coming up here in the 8 o'clock hour, 8:08 at WIBX.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley will soon be home to New York State's newest state-of-the-art medical center, the Wynn Hospital. But healthcare transformation is already underway. At MVHS, we're bringing talented, highly skilled healthcare professionals from around the country to our region. In the past year, MVHS has hired more than 60 new doctors and mid-level providers, and recruiting continues throughout the Northeast for nurses, physical therapists, radiology techs, lab positions, and more. Plus, the MVHS Medical Education Division is already bringing more physicians in training and medical students to our area through new residency programs and medical school partnerships. Today, we have 45 residents and 35 medical students doing their training at MVHS. By 2027, there will be more than 200 physician learners at the Wynn Hospital and other MVHS campuses. Our focus is on caring for our community with the best and brightest teams of caregivers, now and in the future. Mohawk Valley Health System. This is for you.
Hi, I'm Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. Winter in central New York can be pretty unpredictable. Snow, freezing temperatures, or hazardous road conditions. You never know what to expect. One thing you can count on, though, is that Warner Sales and Service is here to help you get through the toughest part of the year. That's why we sell and service Bobcat equipment. It's the toughest and most trusted equipment on the market. We pride ourselves on the quality of our product and, most importantly, the quality of our service. It's our job to keep your businesses up and running, and we strive to go above and beyond for each and every one of our customers. You never know what to expect during winter, but you can always depend on us at Warner Sales and Service. Stop by and see us just off Route 365 in Rome. We are Warner Sales and Service, where quality still counts.
Building relationships, building trust. Warner Sales and Service. Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
Hi, I'm Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti. Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opiates after a surgery 2 years ago, a broken bone last year, and a dental procedure last month. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. Holding on to unused medication like opiates puts your family at risk. Remove the risk by getting 2 free medication disposal bags mailed directly to your home. Hurry and don't delay. There's a limited supply.
Go to ocopioidtaskforce.org.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Let me tell you about Valentine's Day. And
It's a week away.
And it is a week away, and if you haven't thought about it, you darn well better, right? Artisanal premium cheese makes Valentine's Day that much easier. They're delicious cheeses from around the world. Including, they have an incredible triple cream cheese and a couple different varieties that are so good. Luxurious cheeses, restaurant-quality breads, and charcuterie from Italy, Spain, France. Add a bottle of wine to that, and you have a wonderful romantic evening right inside your own home. And then there's Hemstraat's Valentine's Half Moons, available in both vanilla and chocolate bottoms. Sounds like the perfect Valentine's gift. It's artisanal premium cheese. Open 7 days a week. I love what they're doing over there.
I love that cheese place.
Celeste, it's in Utica.
And it's in Utica. It's actually really easy to access. You can see it from the arterial. Nice parking. I love that place. They have great cheeses.
Okay, let me ask you. I'm going to read a statement. Oh, we want to go back first to
can we pick up? We were talking about the bike lanes there, and
the guy said, there's no need for bike lanes.
Right.
He doesn't want a bike, so let's get rid of all the bike lanes.
So what a lot of people are not aware is that fairly recently the state of New York invested a lot of money in completing the Empire Trail. This is, I don't know how long it is. It goes all the way from New York City out to Buffalo and then also up to the Canadian border. And it's a beautiful bike trail where we are. It runs alongside the Erie Canal, and it attracts hundreds of thousands of bicycle tourists every year. And bicycle tourists have a lot of money. They're often recently retired boomers. They're middle-class people who like to ride their bicycles as a form of tourism, bicycle tourism. They've got money falling out of their pockets. But
and there is this trail that was built across New York State.
Right, all the way across New York State,
yeah.
the Empire Trail. And people cannot easily get from the Empire Trail to downtown Utica, even though it's like a mile away. I want those tourists to come to downtown Utica. I want them to buy pizza at Pizza Classic and then get a coffee at Character Coffee. I want them to stay at Hotel Utica or stay at the Delta. I want them to have dinner at Ocean Blue. I want those well-off tourists to spend their tourism dollars here in Utica. But currently they're not doing that because there's no safe, easy way to get from the Empire Trail into downtown Utica.
So in addition to the bike lanes on Genesee Street, there would need to be an investment, I guess an infrastructure investment, in another bike path or something to connect them from the harbor area to downtown?
Yes, and some of that's already been done, right? So that new pedestrian bridge that was built fairly recently, that's a piece of that. So we've got a number of the pieces in place. The 5S bike trail is part of that system. So, but we need to continue to make those investments in bike lanes are economic development, right? It doesn't sound like it, and it's not obvious to many people, but they really are, especially when you have the Empire Trail right there. I, several years ago, rode my bike from Buffalo to Albany, and we skimmed by Utica. There was no attempt to get us into Utica for lunch or what have you.
Donna says it becomes a snowmobile trail during the wintertime, and it's not done. Schuyler to Frankfurt is not finished as of yet. There are some spots that are
There
not
are a
done.
couple of spots where the Empire Trail is complete, but there are a couple of spots where one has to get out onto roadways in order to.
And it's
to
750 miles, by the way.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
a long way.
Bob Cardillo is running for mayor on the Republican side. He's running against Mike Galimi in the upcoming Republican primary. But basically calling out all members who are running, all candidates who are running, saying you should be full-time. You are committed to that.
Absolutely.
And this is what he says. The next administration needs a leader to improve civic spaces, rebuild infrastructure, make our neighborhoods stronger, and root out the underlying causes of crime and inequity. Would you agree with that?
I agree with all of that, but I can't imagine anybody who wouldn't agree with that. I want to know exactly how we're going to do that. We're going to need to drill down on very specific policies, know which policies work, do the homework, do the research. Look at numbers, etc. But of course, we're committed to those things.
It'd be funny if you came out and said, "I am not committed to stronger neighborhoods. I'm against it. There'll be no strong neighborhoods."
Those are all easy things for everybody to get on board with.
Well, let me throw this.
Yeah.
The next mayor must restore our places of worship and cultural opportunities.
Well, the government should restore places of worship. That's not the America that I love, right? We should, of course, protect people's right to worship, but we're not going to restore people's. I don't know what that means. He thinks that the government should build churches and mosques, and no, I don't know.
The next mayor must restore our places of worship and cultural opportunities.
The cultural opportunities, sure, and also the civic spaces. One of the things that frustrates me in Utica is that there aren't enough places where the public can come together and meet and join together. There aren't those civic places. I agree with that. I don't know about the restoring places of worship. I don't know what that means. I believe in it. I want religion to be completely free from governmental interference. I think that's the kind of religious freedom that I believe in.
Nancy says there are no bike lanes in North Utica.
Okay. Well, that's part of what we need to do in order to be able to get bicycles from the Empire Trail, which runs through North Utica down to downtown.
All right.
Bernie in Utica says it's not economic development, although I think I disagree with Bernie. I thought you made a good case for how that would be a boost to local businesses. Did I lose my question?
What are we talking about? You mean the bike lanes?
The bike lanes.
Okay.
I believe this is from Bernie as well. Forgive me here. Hundreds of thousands. Where is that data coming from? Okay, and then the question Bernie had before was when we were talking about personnel, city employment. The problem with personnel that she does not wish to talk about is when you hire civil service and union personnel, it's near impossible to lay off in a lean year, and the amount never accounts for health and benefits costs, which are one of our highest costs. Do you have any reaction to that?
Well, I mean, first of all, I believe that, 10, 11 years ago when the city was in really difficult financial straits, we did lay people off. And the problem is we haven't hired back. So, when you compare us to other similar cities, we have far fewer city employees per capita than do other places. And so I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure where that comment is coming from.
Right. Are you still an adjunct professor, and would you give that up as well?
Absolutely. So I'm just going to say this really quickly. So if I win the primary, the one of my first orders of business will be to tender my resignation as the executive director of Colorscape Chenango Arts Festival. I'm the executive director. I would still finish out the year. That would finish in September or October. And then if I win the general in November, my first order of business would be to tender my resignation to SUNY Poly, where I'm an adjunct lecturer.
We haven't gotten too much into Celeste's background, right? What you do for a living before. I guess those were two things I didn't realize. Can you talk more about those?
Sure. So I have been an adjunct lecturer at SUNY Poly for 15 years. I recently had to fill out some paperwork, and there was a place in the paperwork where it said consecutive semesters, and it said 29, and I was like, ouch! So I've been there this is my 30th consecutive semester at SUNY Poly. I teach a couple of introductory level classes, one on Introduction to World Religions, and then a course called Science, Technology, and Human Values. I teach 2 of those courses every semester. Big shout out to my union because they got health insurance for adjuncts, which is really unusual in the state of New York. So that's one of my part-time jobs. I'm also the executive director of, as I said before, Colorscape Chenango Arts Festival. That's a very high-end, well-regarded 2-day arts festival in Norwich, New York. And
is that where you're from?
No. Nope. I got that job because I had a business called Celeste Friend Designs, which technically I still do, where I design, produce, and market a line of sterling silver jewelry. I was a vendor at that arts festival, and then when a position came up for a director, I happened to see it, and I threw my hat in the ring.
Where are you from?
I grew up in Needham, Massachusetts, which is one of the immediate suburbs of Boston.
Yep.
Went to UMass Amherst, then went to New York City for graduate school, then spent a few years in Ohio teaching full-time at 3 different colleges in Ohio, and then got a teaching job in 2002 at Hamilton College. And that brought me to the Mohawk Valley and brought me back to New York State, where I've been ever since.
All right. Mike asks, if there are no bike lanes in North Utica, what is Joe Beatrice doing? Because that is his that's his territory. Good question. Anything else that you have? I think
I've covered most of it all here.
Yeah.
No, I think that's it. You want a positive comment from Lance? I'll send you off with this. I don't always agree with Celeste's politics, but I think she's good for the council. It's good to have different views and opinions. And then he says, who is running for her seat? We don't know that
and then,
at this point, right?
I believe that over the weekend, Bob Cardillo, and we'll ask him this question again on the radio, but I was told that he might not have answered the question. If he loses the primary, the Republican primary, will he get out of the race and allow the nominee to move forward, or would he stay in the race on a third-party line, whether it be maybe conservative or another line? I don't believe he answered that. We'll have him on the radio to talk about it. But I'll ask you, if you lose the primary, do you stop there?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You would.
If I lose the primary, I am 1,000% behind Frank DeBrango.
So
did I ask you that earlier?
You did.
Okay.
So
Now I've said it twice.
The problem, of course, with the opposite of that is if, and we've seen this before in the Republican race, if possibly, let's say, Cardillo lost to Galimi and Cardillo stayed in the race on another line, maybe it's the Constitutional Caucus line, or maybe it is the conservative, if he were to get the conservative line, that would likely split the Republican vote, and whoever the Democratic nominee, you're crossing your fingers, you're hoping that happens, that scenario. That would be good for Democrats. Would you agree?
Yeah, if I lose the primary, I will be 1,000% supporting whoever does win the primary.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I'm a Democrat. I'm going to stick with my party.
Okay.
It's interesting, and I've seen Jim Zecca has sent me the video for Mr. Cardillo's press conference. So I had a conversation with Mr. Zecca recently about will you be endorsing for mayor and will you be putting forth a candidate for county executive? And he said, wait and see. But I just wonder if maybe if Mr. Cardillo doesn't win the primary, does he get a line like a constitutional caucus line? I don't know if they have enough time to actually put together a party that could do endorsing. But it'd be interesting to see. Split vote. That's how Palmieri won, right?
The timeline for that is different in terms of that sort of like it's an independent nominating petition. It's different than the kind of petitioning that you do for one of the official parties.
Can I leave you with one comment here that I think is a good one? This is Nancy. Bikers only drive in bike lanes, ? LOL. If they're hungry, they're going to ride another 15 miles to get something to eat. Rome and Ilion don't have bike lanes that go to their commercial districts from the canal. How far does someone have to ride to get a cup of coffee if they pass Utica?
Oh, what's the next? Probably, I don't know, Ilion, Frankfurt?
Does Rome not have, Smitty, doesn't Rome have the bike lanes? Not the bike lanes, the canal trail?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they did. It goes right.
And actually, the ride the Erie Canal, which is an annual ride of about 800 people, they stop and spend the night at Fort Stanwix. They pitch their tents at Fort Stanwix. It's one of the nights where the ride doesn't feed you. You're expected to, and that means that every one of the restaurants in downtown Rome benefits that night from the ride the Erie Canal.
I would suggest we build a Stewart's on the bike lane, and that would solve all the problems.
That's a good place
of the world.
Just one clarification on the connecting the trail to downtown. You said it was about a mile away?
I'm just guessing.
Okay.
As the crow flies.
But it's not like 10 miles, right?
No. As
Right.
the crow flies, the Empire Trail, for most of it, but one of your callers was right, there's still a little bit of work to be done over by Frankfurt, I believe. But for the most part, runs right alongside the canal. So when you think about how close the canal is to downtown Utica, that's how close the Empire Trail is to downtown Utica.
All right. Celeste, thank you for the time. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Ricky Z at Steed Pawnee Mazda is ready for you here in 2023. If you're looking for a brand new vehicle, some of these are beautiful vehicles. The new Mazdas. I have one, the CX-9. Love the vehicle. It has a great ride. Has all of the technology, all of the things that make the vehicle special, comfortable. And that one vehicle, and Rick told me this quite some time ago, when I did the lease, make sure you get enough miles on your lease. And the answer was, why? My reply was, I think I have enough here. And he said, just make sure you're not putting yourself, you're going to love driving this car. So when you're off to New York City or you're driving to Buffalo or going to Albany, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you say, oops, it's a lease vehicle. We can't take the vehicle we're comfortable with. That was a great piece of advice because I love driving this vehicle. Whether it's a brand new Mazda or a pre-owned, come on in. Let's make your deal, says Ricky Z, at the family-owned and operated Steed Pawnee Mazda. Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
You have cancer. 3 words you wish you could unhear. But just because a cancer diagnosis may be a shock to your system doesn't mean cancer surgery has to be. Now, there's Edge Radiosurgery. It breaks down tumors in less than an hour per treatment. No knife, no hospital stay. Faster treatments, lower risk. Edge Radiosurgery, now at AMP of New York. Learn more at ampofny.com/edge. You may experience side effects which may be severe. Ask your doctor of Edge Radiosurgery, Associated Medical Professionals of New York is right for you.
Every day at NBT Bank, we focus our business around all the ways we can help yours. We're large enough to offer leading business and digital solutions, but local enough to ensure personalized one-on-one service. So turn to NBT Bank for a full range of business solutions, like capital and treasury management services, even fraud protection, and see how NBT Bank is just the right size to help you do big things. Visit nbtbank.com to learn more and start a conversation. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the new Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them at 315-724-6767. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies. We make life easier.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 23.99% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver," unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
The official coffee of this radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Try all of their lattes, up to 14 different flavors. Delicious. And they have hot soups every day, fresh bagels, fresh donuts, made on the location every single day. Bring a box of coffee, Seattle's best, to your workplace. Try any of their coffees, and you know that drive-through is very, very fast. You're in, and you're out, and you're on your way. That's what you need first thing in the morning. Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford.
Some sunshine, 17 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:29. Bill, the death toll from Monday's devastating earthquake is now over 5,000 in Turkey. A 7.8 magnitude quake struck before dawn in southern Turkey near the border with Syria. More than 1,600 people are confirmed dead there, and people are still believed to be trapped under rubble of thousands of collapsed buildings. President Joe Biden says the shooting down of a Chinese balloon won't change his State of the Union address tonight. Speaking to reporters Monday, Biden said it was always his idea to shoot down the balloon once it was safe to do so. He said he'll talk to the American people about what he's accomplished and what he still wants to achieve. Aviation giant Boeing plans to cut about 2,000 white-collar jobs this year. On Monday, the company confirmed to a Seattle Times report that it expects those reductions to be primarily in finance and HR through a combination of attrition and layoffs. Gas prices down another 2 cents today. AAA says the national average is at $3.45 a gallon. That's down 5 cents from a week ago, but 17 cents higher than it was at this time last month. Checking local gas prices here in the Utica-Rome market, the average price per gallon of regular fuel this morning is coming in at $3.59 a gallon. That is down 2 cents from yesterday. Still about a dime more than our neighbors in Syracuse are paying. LeBron James could make NBA history in Los Angeles tonight. He's only 36 points shy of breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time career scoring record. The Lakers will take on Oklahoma City at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And rap icon, Eminem, will soon have a new title, that being father-in-law. His 27-year-old daughter, Haley Jade, announced on Instagram Monday that she's getting married. Haley Jade revealed that she and Evan McClintock got engaged on Saturday. Her post included a picture of the moment McClintock popped the big question. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for clouds to increase as we head toward the afternoon. We do have a chance of showers after 4 p.m. today, a high of 40. Showers possible tonight around midnight. Otherwise, cloudy skies with a low of 33 degrees. Slight chance of snow showers before 10 a.m. tomorrow. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, a high of 36. Thursday, we could start the day with some freezing rain. It will change over to rain showers. Thursday's high, 40 degrees. Right now, clear skies, 17, and some sunshine at 8:32.
Listen, I have some breaking news here right now on that Chinese balloon. Officials at the Pentagon have released the following information on what the actual objective of the balloon was. When you're able to zoom in on it, you see the writing on the balloon that says, "We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty." So nothing to worry about here. Just ignore them.
That's good.
Like you do on your phone. It's 8:33 at WIBX.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares, the Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
There was a lot of that stuff, though.
That's right.
Just think about the pot calling the kettle black. Like, hello.
I know.
Good morning. It's 8:34, and sunny out. I mean, it doesn't feel all that great. We had a cold night. It was in the teens. But the sunshine does look good.
It does. It feels good.
I'll take sunshine over the clouds that we have 90% of the winter here in central New York. Jeff Manasso on the line right now. You have sunshine and a 4-day work week. What do you think?
I'm all about it.
I'm seeing gray and no sun at all. And, but I would love a 4-day work week. I mean, who wouldn't, right?
You're right. I mean, that would make the gray bearable.
I hate to say this, but at this point, I think I'd settle for a 5-day work week, to be honest with you.
Yeah, radio.
To get 2 days to myself.
You and a lot of people, but I mean, look, there are a lot of employment agencies and others, advocacy groups all over the place, so that are trying to rally around this notion of a 4-day work week here in the U.S. And they think that it's going to be more popular in the coming years, and that companies need to start planning for it. I think that's a little bit premature, but there is a bill being proposed in the Maryland legislature that's going to reduce the work week to 4 days. Not 10-hour days, but 8-hour days. So it'd be a 32-hour work week. And this bill is proposed by a Democratic delegate by the name of Von Stewart, who says employees suffer from burnout. Yes, they struggle from stress and working too much. Yes, and he bases his bill off of research from this advocacy group called 4 Day a Week Global that claims that companies with 4-day work weeks and they've got higher profits and higher production and better recruitment and retention. So we'll see. Bills in California, as well as the U.S. House, to lower work weeks have also been introduced in the past, and they failed.
There's a couple of things I think we can't skip over. One, in order to have everybody working a 4-day work week, you need more employees, right? To cover the shifts and the days.
Especially in, the businesses that are open 7 days a week or 6 days a week.
Yeah. And
retail and all of that.
There's an extra cost, right, for payroll or health insurance or something like that. Allegedly, I don't know, I've never owned a business, but every time they hire somebody, there's an additional cost that goes beyond the salary. The other thing is I think we have to make an adjustment. I mean, we see this more and more now, but if everybody's on a 4-day work week, I mean, for instance, there's a Chinese restaurant down the road that's now closed on Tuesdays because they can't find people to work on Tuesdays,
Right.
And I think maybe we have to, if that's what it's going to be, I'm for it, but you're not going to get this 24-hour service or 7-day-a-week service that we've grown accustomed to in so many regards.
Well, that's what some critics say, that look, not every business is going to be able to do this. And first of all, in Maryland, the state would subsidize employers who want to make a change via state tax credit. And we've heard from some Republicans who definitely support a 4-day work week, but who say that the government and taxpayers need to stay out of this. And if it works, it works, but it shouldn't be subsidized. Shouldn't be taxpayers funding this 4-day work week. Well, many of us, we're not going to see a 4-day work week. And so if it works, great. More power to you. That's awesome. But a lot of business would not be able to do this.
So the other part of this is when you have your holidays that are celebrated on Mondays, instead of a 3-day weekend, you get a 4-day weekend. So that would be and a 3-day work week. I mean, it changes everything, I think.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. And oh, by the way, of those 4 days we're working, give me half of them where I can work from home. And you've got the perfect situation. Yeah. And I wonder if that's where we're going based on, automation has changed a lot when it comes to the amount of people that are needed, especially in manufacturing. So maybe that would help in that regard. A lot of changes going on. Just getting somebody to work today is an effort all of its own right now.
That's right.
Yeah. Jeff Manasso, Fox News, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
So, I'm also the study that he alluded to that came from the Massachusetts lawmaker who put this forward. I can't remember the name of the organization, but they were citing this group who did some type of a study on the 4-day work week. And I'm just a little skeptical. It almost, to me, I just wonder, they talk about the pay gap with men and women, and it's whatever they say it is, but then if you broke it down to if they're doing the same exact job and have the same exact qualifications, that the gap either is much smaller or doesn't actually exist. So I'm wondering if that's the case. They say, oh, look, the companies that do a 4-day work week are more productive, or they have better profits. Well, maybe that's just a really good company, right? They've got a widget that everybody wants. That's why their profits are up, not because they send their employees home for an extra day a week. I think that could be the case.
Manaski has another story that is on his mind here today, and it involves marijuana.
Yes, I was going to tell you about it this morning, but I was a little stoned, so I forgot.
Okay.
No, I was not, but I'm a little annoyed, I guess. I see this story, and this is from WKTV, and I'm not knocking the story at all. I'm confused whether it's the government or regulators. I don't know who exactly I'm frustrated with, but the story that they have is about THC-infused gummies are presenting a new problem for schools in New York, especially at the elementary level. And they talked to Peter Blake.
At the elementary level.
Peter Blake at the Rome City School District. He said Blake confirmed one incident happened earlier this year at an elementary school in the Rome City School District and stated due to restrictions, there was not much he could say about that incident, but obviously it involved gummies of some kind and a student. Or I guess maybe a teacher. I don't know. But so their story has a couple of images of THC, marijuana-infused gummies. So one of them is the double stuff Oreo package, and then on top of it, it's the double, what does that say? Double stuff Stonio, right? But it looks just like the Oreo package.
Yeah.
And then over here, you have the Sour Patch Kids gummies.
Stony Patch Kids.
And then the Stony Patch Kids gummies.
Yeah.
I guess here's what drives me nuts about this. We've heard this for years. Now, I wouldn't encourage anybody to smoke. I think smoking's terrible.
Even if you remember the camel, the camel character, the cartoon character was banned because they're saying that's marketing to children. But now all of a sudden with marijuana, all of this stuff is being marketed to.
Yeah, it was you couldn't have flavored cigarettes or flavored tobacco because that was the reason. Quote, I'm air quoting. The only reason they're doing that is so that they can market it to kids. And then we saw with vapes. All these different vapes they wanted to ban and outlaw because they're different flavors and they're marketing it to kids. Yet nobody says anything about the Stony Patch gummies that, look, if I put these two packages in front of my 7-year-old child, he wouldn't know which one's Sour Patch and which one's Stony Patch from the container.
Yeah.
So
God forbid if a kid is finding that package at home that the parents had been consuming, he would grab it thinking it's Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, there's such a double standard with, blaming tobacco companies and vape companies and even alcohol. Oh, you're marketing it to kids. I don't see any other way. This is clearly made to look like a child's treat, and it's infused with marijuana. And I'm just wondering when the state of New York, in their infinite wisdom, of course, legalized marijuana, which there's some good and there's some bad to it. I think this falls under the bad category. They need to take action so that literally these seem to be marketed directly to children.
Venezuelan-born influencer Funky Matus. Are you familiar with this guy?
No.
He is in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most signatures tattooed on his back.
Boy, they'll do anything for money, won't they?
Well, apparently, he's an influencer, and he makes a lot of money, and he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most signatures on his back, tattooed. If that's not prestigious enough, he's now got a new milestone, a new record in the Guinness Book to report about. Reports say that he has been training a monkey to do tattoo work and even has let the primate work its magic on him, making him the first person to ever get a tattoo from a monkey.
Wow. We went from first explorers of the ocean to first to invent, the light bulb and electricity. Now we have first to let a monkey tattoo my back.
Matus or however you pronounce his name admits that the monkey's work isn't the best in terms of quality, but the event was a fascinating look into the capabilities of these highly intelligent animals. So, to be honest with you, I think there may be some sloppy tattoo artists out there. The monkey might actually do a better job than those tattoo artists. I've seen some that look homemade, and probably they are homemade. Maybe the monkey will do just a little bit better than that, I guess.
Smitty, and if you have a second, come in here and sign my sneaker. I'd like to send it to Guinness, as this is the only, what am I wearing today? This is the only Nautica sneaker with an Uncle Smitty signature on it in the country.
In Indiana, the Senate there has voted to legalize throwing stars. And I was wondering, what is this? Is this our, okay, everybody, we've got George Clooney here. And then they whip him up against the wall or something. I didn't really know, but the stars are
ninja stars,
are those
right?
ninja stars.
Yeah.
There's some good news for wannabe ninjas in the Hoosier state. The Indiana Senate has just passed a bill that will legalize throwing stars under certain conditions. The idea for the bill said it came from the owner of a business called Ninja Golf. The thought was that if some bars can have axe throwing, why can't we have throwing stars? I guess that kind of, right? And you say it's in a bar setting. People are drinking, and you're throwing axes.
Yeah. I have questions about it as well, but as far as I know, I'm not aware of any accidents.
Safety measures, they say, must be put in place, and the bill includes restrictions like only certain businesses can allow them, and children between the ages of 12 and 17 need written parental permission to hurl the weapons. By the way, you think that's going nowhere. In Indiana, the bill passed the Senate by a margin of 48-1.
Wow.
It now goes on to the House, where it is expected to pass.
I've got a great idea. How about axe throwing with gummies? Yeah.
There you go. We'll break and wrap up this Tuesday morning, coming right up at WIBX.
Hey there, it's Jeff Manaski from WIBX. The amount of people doing business online has skyrocketed. Are you stuck in the past and ready to move into the future? It's never been more important to make sure that your business is online. Town Square Interactive can help. Town Square Interactive can help you find more customers online and help you grow your business. The best part? It's fast, easy, and there are no contracts. If you want to find out more, just visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the new Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them at 315-724-6767. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies. We make life easier.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Pharmavide.
Did you know estrogen decline can begin for women as early as 40 years old? This can lead to a number of symptoms associated with menopause, like hot flashes, mood changes, sleep disruption, and more. Equell can help. Equell is the only supplement made with S-Equol, a naturally derived plant-based ingredient that relieves symptoms of estrogen decline. In clinical trials, women taking Equell experienced 5 fewer hot flashes per day, 50 more minutes of sleep per night, alleviated mood swings, and more. Not sure if you're experiencing symptoms of estrogen decline? Reach out to Equell's customer support team for help navigating your symptoms. You can try Equell risk-free for 90 days with Equell's 90-day money-back guarantee. Get the support you need with Equell. For more information and to get 20% off your first order, go to equell.com/news. That's EQUELLE.com/news for 20% off. equell.com/news.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest-rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Every day, more than 250 people from all walks of life die from a drug overdose. They include our families, friends, and our neighbors. Their deaths are preventable with a simple first aid tool. Naloxone, also known by the brand name Narcan, is first aid and it saves lives. It's easy to use and can be administered by anyone. Oneida County wants to get it into as many businesses and homes as possible. Sign up online and receive an overdose rescue kit with 2 doses of Narcan nasal spray for free. Go to ocgov.net and click on Save a Life to request your free kit.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the NECA Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Syracuse University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Syracuse University's partnership with the IBEW will provide talented students the opportunity to advance their careers while shaping the future of the electrical trades and the industries they serve.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Hi, I'm Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. Winter in Central New York can be pretty unpredictable. Snow, freezing temperatures, or hazardous road conditions. You never know what to expect. One thing you can count on, though, is that Warner Sales and Service is here to help you get through the toughest part of the year. That's why we sell and service Bobcat equipment. It's the toughest and most trusted equipment on the market. We pride ourselves on the quality of our product and, most importantly, the quality of our service. It's our job to keep your businesses up and running, and we strive to go above and beyond for each and every one of our customers. You never know what to expect during winter, but you can always depend on us at Warner Sales and Service. Stop by and see us just off Route 365 in Rome. We are Warner Sales and Service, where quality still counts.
Building relationships, building trust. Warner Sales and Service. Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
Hey, you can do it all this year. Book your home improvement project with New York Sash and get a free vacation. Schedule a price quote for a home improvement project with New York Sash, and they'll gift you with a cruise or luxury vacation voucher to take the trip of your dreams. Cruise for 3 to 7 days on the top liners and locations, or stay at your choice of 4,500 luxury resorts worldwide. There's no blackout date for you to worry about. No blackout dates. You get 24 months to book, and it is fully transferable as well, which means it makes the perfect gift. So you don't have to choose between improving your home and going on a vacation. Improving your home versus a vacation of your dreams. You can do both with New York Sash. Find out more by signing up for the no-cost, no-obligation price quote. Go to NewYorkSash.com/vacation or stop by the showroom anytime, New York Sash on Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, I have a bunch of comments, and if you want to pipe in on the phone, feel free to do that. 315-736-0186. But a ton of comments. RYH. How would I pronounce that?
Rye?
Rye? Or is that initials? Rome has bike lanes. I go to Super Official from there on the reg. I don't know that I've got.
They regularly go there. I don't.
Are you going to translate that for me?
I was trying to.
Yeah, if you could. I'm a little slow. The other night when they did the Grammys, and they came out and they opened up with what was it? The bunny there.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Apparently, there's all of this controversy out there now. That I'm just going to be honest. I felt like they opened up with material that was not mainstream.
Okay.
It was completely in Spanish. You know, while if you're younger, you probably, much younger, you probably knew what it was. But I was completely lost. And I'm like, you gotta, why are they not opening with like something that's more mainstream? That everybody would be like, oh, I know what this is. And it's become a whole big problem. Apparently, I shouldn't have said that.
Why?
Because
you're not cultured enough?
It's racist. And that's what's being and it gets even worse. They're calling CBS racist because and now meanwhile, CBS is the one that was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna lead off with the Bad Bunny. The negative hair. We're going to go with a fully Spanish song. So it's going to be completely in Spanish. I would think that move is a pretty progressive move if you're CBS. Here's what they're being criticized for. They didn't put enough effort into the closed captioning person. So if you were...
Person? You mean program? It's probably a program.
No, I don't think so. I think for network television, it's probably live captioned.
Okay.
There's somebody there actually typing. For network television.
So
at this point.
they were paying this person minimum wage instead of $25 an hour?
They apparently didn't know Spanish. And that's the funniest thing of all. They butchered the closed captioning. Completely butchered it. So if you were watching, and I don't run closed captioning, but if you were watching and you had closed captioning running, you apparently wouldn't have understood anything of what was going on. So there's a major controversy out there saying that this is, the perfect closed captioning for Rihanna, and Bad Bunny had more worldwide streams than Rihanna has. Well, it's the Grammys. It's the American Grammys, right?
Well, the fact that you point that out clearly underscores your racism.
Apparently,
that you have to say American, even though we live in
and listen, we're probably in the midst of cultural battles right now because at some point the white population, the white English population in the United States will be a part of the minority, and it's probably, what do you say, 20, 30 years away, maybe even less than that. And it's pretty darn close today where if you gather up all minorities versus white English speaking, the number's pretty close in terms of percentage in the United States.
Well,
so there will be your cultural war, and I think we're already experiencing it.
Uncle Joe Biden refuses to lock that back door, and once he does...
I don't know about you, but I don't think Biden speaks English. I oftentimes have a very difficult time understanding what he's saying. Andrew says, in the spring, the cyclists overtake Frankfurt, and the street becomes impassable. I didn't even realize that.
So, and Bernie followed up. Bernie was sending some messages this morning, and this was the point about the bikes and the bike lanes, and he said it's not economic development. If this were so desired, let private investment put it in. But you can't have a private company say we're going to put in your bike lanes on a road, right?
But private companies do all your paving. Yeah. But I mean, it would have to be approved by municipalities.
Well, no. It says let private investment put it in. I know. It might be a private company that paves the road.
Yeah.
But they can't just say we're going to pave the road. They have to be hired to do it, and it's what the city tells them to do. They can't willy-nilly add bike lanes where they feel it's appropriate.
The responsibility still falls on the city. There's no doubt about that. The problem is, on the gummies, the problem is elementary kids think it's regular candy. Yeah,
That's my point.
That is Manaski's point. Nancy says, if bikers only will use the bike trails, how do they get there if their street doesn't have a bike trail? Do they pick the bike up and carry it until they find one? The answer to that is yes. And I know what she's saying is they're going to ride in the street or whatever. But you'll oftentimes see bike people. That's what we call them, bike people.
That's racist.
They get on like the Adirondack Scenic Trail or the Adirondack Scenic Railway, and they bring their bike onto the train. They go up to Old Forge or Thundera or wherever they go, and then they bike from there. A couple of other comments on the we licensed. This is Greeley, and Greeley was with the New York State Liquor Authority. We licensed a couple of axe throwing premises, one in Syracuse, I think. But these companies had excellent track records in other locations with security and extreme supervision. Alcohol wasn't allowed in the axe throwing areas, and nor was intoxication. And this is in reference to in Indiana where they're doing star throwing, which I think generally, though, these stars are weapons that are in many states not legal to even
correct. I don't believe they're legal
anyway
in New York.
So if you can't use them anyway, how do you end up using them at a bar? Andrew's back. Make the bikes. This is off YouTube. Make the bikes have registration and insurance if they're going to utilize the highways.
I disagree.
They ride down the middle of the road with no concern for traffic.
They're supposed to ride in the road, though. If there's not a lane, they're supposed to ride in the road.
And on that note, I'm done for the day. So it's going to warm back up. We'll be back up to near 40 degrees today. Crazy, right? Love it. Enjoy your day. We're back here tomorrow morning.
Of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, after walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer, unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews